go. Howdy meowdy everyone, it's back today with Remember the Flowers, and we are gonna go ahead and continue on. I was gonna stream earlier this week, but work's been really hard. We had a deadline this week, so we were pretty busy. However, I decided no, I wanted to use part of my Saturday to just finish up at least the public release of this game. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into it. We left off on chapter 16, Fateful Encounter. Because we got paid yesterday, I took it upon myself to order some small kitchen appliances for our room. While the cafeteria is good food. I'm getting a little sick of being recognized because of my stupid collar. Now I can at least enjoy a quiet meal by myself from time to time. Or with Benji. I did have to install some shelves for extra storage, but it wasn't too difficult. Thankfully, there's just enough corner space for a mini fridge and a microwave. Since everything is fresh and empty, I figure it's time to go grocery shopping. I pull out my Axiom screen while walking to text Vivian to see if she wants anything. As soon as I open the door, I'm greeted by someone familiar. Lance, I was just about to knock. Great. What do you want? It's my day off. Now, don't be so testy. Are you free at the moment? No, I'm going shopping. The shops will be open well into the evening. There's something I want you to see. Artemis chuckles to himself. Trust me, it's a sight. You won't want to miss it. Right. Can I go now? Artemis stops laughing and gives me a serious look. This is an order, spoil sport. It has to do with the team you'll be working with in the future. Fucking. Fine, let's go. I got shit to do. Wonderful. To the underground elevators we go. Fuck me. Artemis takes me down the path of the base I hadn't been before. Anytime I try to ask where we're going, he shoots me down, telling me not to ruin the surprise. I swear, this has to be the most convoluted way to travel. When we're finally in the elevator, Artemis speaks up. Should you ever get seriously injured while on the job, rest assured, you'll be taken care of here. This is where we take care of our VIP patients, though it's been a while since we've had to resort to extensive treatment. Artemis keeps snickering to himself. Just before we hit our destination, Artemis takes out his Axiom screen and materializes a pair of baskets, one for each of us. I can't wait to see the look on his face. Keep me in suspense, why don't you? How long do I have to stay? I honestly can't imagine living a life as dull as yours. I'll let you know when I start caring about what you think. Maybe you'll stop wasting your time. Oh, believe you me, watching you is never a waste of time. I let out a subdued growl, but I don't have the chance to retaliate more as the bell dings and the door opens. Artemis adjusts his collar before stepping into the hall, motioning me for him to follow him. With a grunt, I do as I'm told. Again. Unlike Vivian's section of the underground, this area seems a lot more normal. Reminds me of the hospital floors up above, though noticeably more quality. That's saying something, considering how rich the upstairs looks. They should be in room F, which is right down this hall. Artemis raises his Axiom up to the sensor of the front door. After a beep, the door slides open. The smell of seared flesh hits my nose rather quickly. An annoyed groan from inside follows soon after. Oh, fuck. What the hell do you want, weasel? Oh, come on. Come now. Don't be like that, King. I come bearing gifts. Unless that includes your resignation letter, I'll pass. I have enough headaches as it is. Sir, please keep the door closed. But of course. Come now, Lance. Mm. We walk into the rather spacious hospital room. 3 of the 8 beds are occupied with 4 nurses working. 2 of them are trying to take care of the giant rhino. They start applying some kind of liquid, which I assume is all that's left to his left arm. He sucks in air through his teeth. Jesus fuck! Be careful with that shit! My apologies. We're almost done. Artemis inhales deeply, then exhales happily. Ah, glad to see you're recovering well. Artemis, I don't have the patience to deal with you right now. Ah, so you normally put up with me? I knew we had a good thing going. The rhino tries to sit up, but one of the nurses keeps him flat on the bed. A female hound is taking charge of the rhino's treatment. Is she the head nurse? Please, remain still. Artemis, you should know better than to antagonize a fellow leader. Sorry. Protocol slipped my mind for a moment. Artemis heads over to the rhino's bed. He places a basket on his chest. We've got you some necessities for when you're discharged, along with those awful protein bars you're a fan of. They're tricky to open. Need a hand? Oh, that's just cold. I've never seen Artemis fail so hard at holding in his laughter. Maybe that's what he was going for. The rhino looks like he's seeing red, clenching his fist hard enough to see the veins in one arm bulge. Mr. Artemis! Oh, shit! The nurse readies a hand, then to my surprise, smacks the weasel across the face. It sounded pretty hard. Much to her dismay, all it did was knock his head to the side a little. I can smell a hint of iron in the air. Artemis takes a thumb out of the corner of his mouth and licks the trickle of blood. He's still smiling. As strong as ever, Serenity. Do accept my most sincere apologies. If you keep up with your nonsense, I'll be forced to write a report. Don't forget, you'll be held accountable, just like the rest of us. Oh, I'm well aware of that, thank you. Then the nurse turns her attention to me. Maybe it's just because I'm on edge here, but I nearly jump out of my skin. And you, speak. What business do you have here? He's with me. I'm here to introduce him to his soon-to-be boss. What? Him? The rhino looks over at me. He scoffs and waves me off. I already have a crew. And look what happened there. I was taken by surprise. I can see that's not all that was taken. I can see the nurse hackles as... I can see the nurse's hackle raise as she steps towards the weasel. He raises his hands in defense. Sorry. Won't happen again. Promise. She helps before getting back to work. Ahem. So... Artemis' voice shifts to a more serious tone. Tell me, what happened? We found a runaway by sheer dumb luck while roaming the streets. One thing led to another, and this is how we ended up. King uses his thumb to point behind him, towards the team. Despite their battered appearances, they're both sleeping soundly in their beds. Artemis clicks his tongue. I never expected you to lose a fight like that. Does Dario know? Does he know? He already ripped me a new one earlier today. That sounds like him. He's always trying to show off his authority. I can't help but roll my eyes. Yeah. Well, it wasn't unwarranted. Nearly got myself and my crew killed. Probably gonna need a prosthetic to replace the arm I lost. Speaking of, how in the world did that happen? Artemis walks around to the rhino's left side to get a better look. He picks up a nearby clipboard, skimming through the reports. I've never heard of a weapon that could cause damage quite like this. Have you? Beats me. I wasn't paying attention. Before I knew it, there was a blinding blue light. Whatever that blast was, it went through my arm cleanly. The mechanic I spoke to earlier said he'd probably need to cleave a good chunk of it off. It's all dead at the end now. Where's your Axiom? Don't know. It was a bitch getting back here, I'll tell you that. I can imagine so. Who was those? Oh, I can imagine. So, who was this runaway? You'll get a kick out of this. I'm sure I will. It was Cyrus Cantwell. Cyrus? Oh, do tell. Artemis looks in my direction, gauging my reaction. I step up to be included in the conversation. I'm curious to know what happened. Apparently, he's been hanging out with the Resistance. We stumbled upon them a while at Golden Requiem. Golden Requiem, huh? That takes me back. We cornered him, but he had some tricks up his sleeve. A white tiger with black eyes joined with him. I thought we could take them no problem. And we did. I nearly choked the cat to death. I smirk. Then, bam! King raises his stump. I didn't have time to finish the job, let alone capture Cyrus. I just took my men and ran. That's certainly not your style. Fuck off. I'm kicking myself just thinking about it. The rhino locks eyes with me before repositioning himself. What's this about a new member? As luck would have it, Mr. Krieger spent a considerable time with Cyrus Cantwell. Is that right? Indeed. In fact, he was the one who originally found him after he escaped. Unfortunately, we weren't able to complete the transfer. Regardless, Mr. Krieger should have a wealth of knowledge in regards to Cyrus. I wouldn't say that. We weren't together very long. Longer than most people in this day and age. I'm sure you'll be useful in our attempts to recapture him. Alright then, let's hear it. What have you got for us? Lance. My name is Lance. That's a sharp name. I like it. So Lance, the floor is yours. What the fuck am I even doing? When I first met him, he had really bad amnesia. I took advantage of him so I could pass him off without much incident, which I kinda regret now. He was feeble and annoying, but he had a lot of knowledge about the world before the fall. Feeble, huh? Why don't you take a look at my men behind me? That was his doing, and you call this feeble? Really? He must be training. I wager he's going to join the Resistance, if he hasn't already. It would pose a real threat if he were to ever regain his memories. That's why I suggest you work with King. You were around Cyrus long enough to memorize his scent, right? I guess. It's been a little while, though. I open my axiom screen and take out his old bandages. These old bandages still have blood on them. It shouldn't be too difficult. Wait, what am I doing? Am I really agreeing to work to capture Cyrus? That would be pretty damn useful. We can put that nose of yours to work. We just have to get close enough for it to matter. Which is why, for the time being, I'm going to have Lance do reconnaissance throughout the nature. Who knows? Maybe he'll find something. Meaning? Your current job and duties are to travel to try to pick up his scent. Don't worry about any admin work. We'll be fine on the front. As a former member of Resistance, you could pick up on your old teammates' scents too, you know. Another runaway, huh? Glad to have you then. Once I get my new arm situated, we can go bust some heads together. Not until you finish your therapy, sir. Oh wait, not until you finish your therapy, sir. Ugh. What's in it for me? Pardon? I didn't agree to this, or anything like you've ever said. Why should I do this? Ah, you want to know what you'll be paid with. Artemis holds his chin and pauses as he thinks. His serious look fades back into a smile. Unfortunately, that isn't up to me, but I'm sure you'll be rewarded handsomely for capturing our #1 target. I bite my lip. Think about it. The weasel chuckles. As if you have a choice. Do get along with your new team, Mr. Krieger. I know you don't have the best track record on that front. Artemis takes that as his cue to leave. I curse internally to myself, scowling. King catches my attention. So, you got anything good in that basket too? I actually do want some more snacks, but you know. The rhino raises his stump. I completely forgot I was holding on to this thing. The handle's a bit crushed. Guess I was gripping it a bit hard earlier. My name's King, by the way. King Stone. Unlike that piece of shit weasel, I try to be somewhat agreeable with the people I work with. That's already a huge improvement. Name is Lance. Lance Krager. Nice to meet you, Lance. So, how about it? Think you want to work with us? To capture Cyrus. I tug on my Arcadia collar. I'm considering it. Attaboy. So you're telling me Cyrus did this to you? Really? Sure did. Why? I just didn't think he had it in him. He was a wimp the last time I saw him. Well, it's true that he got a leg up on me. He points to his new stump. And then some. I'll give him this. When push came to shove, he went for the kill. King points to a small dent in his neck, just above the Arcadia collar. If there were anyone else, he'd have gone straight through this with his knife. Wow. I don't really know what to think about that. I'm glad he grew a backbone, but that'll make it harder for me to capture him. He only got me like this because I was distracted. You should see the shape the other guy was in. Oh, I'd love to. There's a knock at the door. You're kidding me. How many visitors were you expecting today? Get off my back. I'm a busy guy. It's probably the mechanic I called. Honestly. Serenity opens the door, and as soon as she does, she straightens up and salutes. Good afternoon, sir. To what do I owe you? To what pleasure do I owe this afternoon? I hear a voice of someone I've never heard before. At ease, soldier. Relax. It's nothing special. A human walks in. His attire reminds me of Artemis. Does he really need to wear a coat like that? All the way down here? He flashes a smile my way before moving past me. Wait, something about him is familiar. I've seen this man before. Good afternoon, Lieutenant Dario. Dario, the descendant of Darius? He's here? If I was still with the Resistance, I could finish up their work for them. Oh my, Artemis wasn't lying. You're really quick to scare, Lance Krager. I go up and lay my ears back. What the hell did Artemis tell this psycho? I'm sure he embellished you a tad. You know how he is. Thought I'd get a good look at you myself. I look at King. He shakes his head. Well... Dario reaches in his pocket, then hands me something. It looks like a letter. At least I think it is. I've never received one before. I know it's old-fashioned, but I had to deliver this to you personally. From my father. Dario's still smiling, but my heart drops. I don't understand. You're in luck, Lance. It's not every day my father requests an audience with workers. Nevertheless, attendance is mandatory. See to it that you make this meeting your top priority. Should you miss it, you will be executed on the spot. You are not allowed to return to the surface without proper supervision until he deems you worthy. I'm sure you understand. Dario pulls out a remote control with his free hand. It looks similar to the one Artemis had when we were in the car. I know we just met, but I wanted to give you some advice. Artemis only plays with his toys. I break them. Dario casually extends a letter towards me. My paw shakes as I take it from the sly human. I'm not breathing. I'm too stunned to even try. There's a good boy. I love it when you folks know your place. I'll see you later this week, Lance. Try not to get yourself killed in the meantime. As quickly as he came, the human walks right out the door. Everyone in the room is stunned. I have to remind myself to breathe. When I do, I struggle. Damn, a meeting already, huh? What the fuck was that? Take it easy. You're fine. Are you serious? Do you know what that man is capable of? Better than anyone. I guess you have a different perspective. You're damn right I do. Do you know how many of his men I've had to fight? That explains the scars on your face. Guess you're not all bite. The comment is sort of out of left field for me, that I don't process it right away. When I do, I bare my teeth. You don't know anything about me, or what I've been through. Spare me the details, Fido. Bottom line is, you can't turn down that invitation. You think I don't already know that? I grab my Arcadia collar. It's all because this thing that I'm stuck here. Careful. It'll shock you if you tug it. I'm sure it will. Will you quit whining already? It's getting embarrassing. King stares into my eyes. Fuck. This is me. I can get out of any situation. I always do. I just need to think about this rationally. What can I do to get out of this ordeal? Think back to Dario. His white hair. It reminds me of Cyrus. What's that? If finding Cyrus means getting you and that weasel off my back, then I'm ready to get this over with. Sounds good to me. I don't have any need for brats on my team. Get moving, wolf. I look over the letter in my paw. Using a claw, I rip the top open. Inside's an ornate piece of paper, along with a metallic keycard. There's a time and date. 5 days from now. It's plenty of time to think of a game plan to bust out of this joint. Oh shit, continue the trend of feeling bad for him. It's been a week since we were rescued from Golden Requiem. It wasn't as bad as I initially thought, but I'm still being held for treatment. Due to the extent of my injury, I had to reschedule my meeting with Titania. Crystal informed her of the situation. Luckily, Titania was more than willing to oblige, considering the circumstances, but she couldn't give me a concrete reschedule date. I hope she doesn't back out. Crystal said she would keep in touch until then. Anyway, I've been stuck in Vita's apartment while I'm recovering, and they're as intense as ever. I need you to keep still while I feed you. I groan, but I do as I'm told. My throat was pretty badly bruised because of my encounter with King, but it's gotten better. I can't eat solid food yet, but I can still eat something. The tubes going to my stomach before were a fun experience. Buddha spoon feeds me some medicine. Ugh. You're making good progress, but you still shouldn't eat solid foods for a day or so. On another note, it appears your stay here won't be much longer. I let out a sigh of relief. Thank God. Not that I haven't enjoyed our time together, but I'd love not to be confined in another room again. Vita chuckles. Not so fast, Cyrus Cantwell. There's something more we need to discuss. While running tests on your heart, I noticed there was extensive damage. I can only assume this has to do with your fight the other day. Oh, that doesn't surprise me, I guess. Please explain what you mean. I feel Vita in on how, in my panic, I use my perception ability much more than I was used to. Vita's expression changes from curiosity to worry. They close their eyes as if they're trying to tell me something. This isn't the kind of news I like to deliver, but from what I saw, this could impact your remaining lifespan. Don't forget, your artificial heart is like a battery. Like any battery, overuse can drastically diminish its longevity. I'm sorry to say this, but you may have knocked a couple of years off your life as a result. That was something I was afraid of. It was not an ideal situation, but you did what you had to do to survive. Promise me you will be more careful in the future, that or reconsider joining the resistance. You know I can't do that, Vita. I've already made up my mind on this. There is no living a peaceful life in a world where I'm always hiding, and that doesn't just apply to me. I cannot argue with that. But I appreciate it, and everything you've done for me. Think nothing of it. I rub my tender neck. I can feel the medicine doing its job. It's strange, but soothing, feeling like none other. How's Aaron? He's doing fine, last I heard. He's a little bit shaken up, though. Can I see him? Maybe in a couple days. You must take care of yourself, too. I think I could manage it. Honestly, your inability to feel pain seems more detrimental than useful. You broke a few ribs, amongst other things. If you move around too much, you could reopen your own wounds without realizing it. Please, just rest for once in your long life. I don't have a response for that. Never been one to sit still, after all. I think back to the day at the black market. I've had an uneasy feeling about it since. Why did Aaron leave me alone? What intel was he trying to get? Was it really that important that I had to be left behind? I should be mad, but I'm more worried than anything. Guarantee it was about Xavier. Wait, should I be mad? I've been doing all this training to deal with situations like these. We might have gotten hurt, but my first real fight went pretty well, all things considered. Right? No, I don't know. I don't think the others will see it that way. If I look at it any other way, Aaron screwed up. Big time. I still haven't told anyone what really went down. Before I continue my thoughts, Vita's door opens. A familiar hybrid shuts in. Sup, Cyrus? I see you still look like hell. I probably feel like it too, but I wouldn't know. Even so, you look better than I thought you would. I do have a great doctor taking care of me. Flattery will not get you discharged faster. And you and I both know we're not doctors. Maybe we should go to school and study together. Funny. I'll go brew up some tea since we have sudden guest. Kanto comes over and sits at the end of my bed. Silver says he'll come see you when he gets back from his current mission. Kanto sighs. As soon as he brought you here, he was out the door in a hurry. That sounds like him. It really does. So, how was your first proper fight? Was it everything you thought it would be? I sit back in my bed and recount the events leading up to that day. It was nothing like I'd ever experienced before. It lasted an eternity, but also felt incredibly quick, which doesn't make sense when I say it out loud. Were you scared? To an extent. Cautious might be a better word. What did scare me was seeing Aaron like that. I've never seen him so beat up before. I thought Karen was pulling my leg when she called me. I went to see him earlier, but he was asleep. It's not much, but he looked like he was peaceful. He looked peaceful while sleeping. That's good. I know he has a hard time sleeping in general. He needs a good rest. Such a hypocrite. Vita carries a tray of teacups to both of us. Thank you. Remember to sip it and not aggravate my throat. So you do take some of the things I say to heart. Vita, relax. I'm joking. Could have fooled me. I feel like I'm studying for another doctorate with how much I've been lectured lately. I can imagine staying here alone with Vita sounds worse than any fight. The dragon chuckles. What do you want, pussycat? Hey, don't call me. Visiting hours are almost done. Chop chop. It's 2 in the afternoon. And since when do you have visiting hours? Since my current visitors started getting on my nerves. Kanto takes out his inventory sphere. Then I'll keep this short. Kanto types away on the screen. Silver and Karen filled me in on what happened when they found you. The only thing is, they don't know exactly how things went down. Kanto takes out another axiom from his screen. The port is cracking with a sapphire blue light. What did you do back there, Cyrus? Can you be more specific? Kanto swipes up on the screen of the axiom he pulled out. The screen is distorted as hell. This was recovered from the severed arm they found back in the alley. The cleanup crew scrubbed away most of the evidence you guys left behind. They almost threw this away in the process, since it's a well-known fact that axioms can't be hacked. Or so we thought. Kanto tries to navigate the screen. He's able to move the screens, but it's difficult to read anything. I do see a familiar face. King's to be more specific. That's King. He's the one we fought. Which is why I need you to tell me what happened. I'm not sure how you did it, but anyone can activate his axiom now. With enough time, I bet I can even dig into his personal files, maybe even the inventory. I take a sip of tea before clearing my throat. Well, it wasn't on purpose, I'll tell you that. I give Kanto the rundown about my experience with the lodestar bullet I fired. I really wasn't sure what to expect. I did it out of desperation. Kanto places King's oversized axiom down on the bed before pulling something else out from his inventory. It's my new gun. This was the weapon that fired it, right? I nod. I'm pretty sure it's new weaponry that Resume is cooking up. That's what the dealer told me. You can put whatever you want in the chamber. The gun adjusts itself to accommodate the input. And you fired an actual lodestar with this? I didn't even know you had one. Yep, the dealer said that it was swiped from transit on its way to Tensia. I see. Cyrus, do you mind if I keep this gun for a while? Why? I'm gonna see if we can reproduce it. We stored lodestars down here too. If we can replicate what you did, or even refine it, we could end this war with Resume once and for all. I'm not sure I follow. Information is power, Cyrus. If we can get enough axioms, we could reveal to the world exactly how Resume operates. Kanto lifts up King's axiom again. This is gonna be a delicate process. If I screw up, it could set us back a decade. You and I both know we don't have that long. You're telling me. Kanto stands up from my hospital bed. I'll write up an official report, but since I'm such a nice guy, I'm gonna slap your name on it so you can give it to her yourself. Huh? I didn't exactly discover it. It was an accident. Accident or not, who wouldn't have found it without you? Other than escaping, you don't have much to your name. You have a meeting with Titania soon, don't you? Take the win. Use this to your advantage. Don't worry. I don't mind giving this to you. You've been a great help. Kanto stuffs the gun and King's axiom back into his own screen. Hold on. You're not leaving, are you? So what if I am? I need you to babysit Cyrus Cantwell for a couple of hours. Excuse me? I have errands to run and things to buy. So order them on your axiom. I also want to stretch my legs and take my own advice. I need a break. Seriously. I think I'll be fine on my own. I know you're going to try to leave the second I walk out that door. Yeah, I won't be gone long. A couple of hours isn't exactly a short time period. I have some board games you two can play while I'm gone. That's not the point. I have things to do. I'll tell the fox that you abandoned Cyrus in his time of need. Kanto bites his tongue. I try to save the hybrid from himself. Actually, I have had something I wanted you to look at me. I've got some old tech and I wanted to see if you could fix it. Like what? I'll be off. Then you two have fun. Wait. Before the dragon could stop Beta, they exited and closed the door. Fucking... Sorry you got roped into this. It's whatever. Kanto plops down on the hospital bed, pouting a bit. Well, what did you want me to look at? I open my Axiom screen and take out a game console my dad left for me. My dad left these for me from before the fall. I tried turning them on, but I think the batteries are dead. One of them can be recharged, but I'm worried they won't be able to handle the voltage of today's time. Kanto extends a paw. I place them both in his palm. They look a lot smaller when he's holding them. His annoyed attitude starts to melt away as he inspects the console. Huh? I've never seen anything like this before. Probably the last ones in existence. No kidding. Do you mind if I open them up? It makes me apprehensive. Don't worry, I'm sure I can put them back together. I just need to know what I'm working with. I bring my knees up to my chest. Alright, just be careful. They don't call me Pussycat for nothing, you know. I chuckle at that. Fair enough. Oh, and there is one more thing. I open my Axiom screen one more time and take out the gun slang escaped me forever ago. As you're most likely aware, my memory isn't what it used to be. I remember this. Need me to unlock it finally? Might as well, right? With an extra weapon in my arsenal wouldn't hurt. Sorry for giving you this extra work suddenly. And right after I offered you free services too. Wow. Kanto chuckles and he gives me a thumbs up. I'm kidding. Don't worry about it. I got this. I nod. My memories from the days I spent the wolf can be so fuzzy at times. Whenever I got my memories back, it felt like my brain shoved that whole week out of my mind. It's strange, but that's how it is. I can really only remember the very end of it, when Aaron was being hospitable with me. So many things have changed since then, huh? I guess anything before that wasn't important anyway. The next hour and a half goes by in comfortable silence. Kanto is now sitting at Vita's desk, meticulously taking apart the consoles with two screens. I try to fiddle with the single screen gaming system, though without power, there's not much I can do. He only breaks concentration to occasionally ask me something, mainly about my past. I let him know that my dad used to play a lot of games and he collected them for a good while. I wasn't super into them, in all honesty. I was more interested in creating music. Even now, I regret not spending more time with him. Kento finally gets all the pieces sorted on the desk and stands up to stretch. It takes all of my energy, not to say big stretch. Well, I think I've disassembled it all. I think you're right. This thing won't survive being plugged into a power source that we have now. That being said, I bet I could engineer an adapter for it. How long do you think that'd take? I'd say a week tops. It doesn't seem that complicated. Wow. Well, how much would I owe you? Right, like you can afford my services. Kento smirks. It's fine. I'm getting a chance to work with ancient tech. That's payment enough. He puffs his chest out proudly. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No way I could turn this down, payment or not. Still, shut up. I said it's fine. I was gonna do it even if you didn't ask. Now pipe down. I'm gonna try to put it back together. Sir, yes sir. While Kanto's working again, I start going through my axiom. I see a missed message from Silver. Mission taking longer than I thought. I'll see you in a few days. Rest up. Getting out of service. Don't expect anything from me till then. Good luck. Message not sent. I sigh. So, do you mind if I ask you something? You just did, but go ahead. How are you and Silver, doing? Kanto stops what he's doing and he doesn't respond right away. I regret asking almost immediately. If I couldn't get Silver to talk, why did I think Kanto would? Things could be better. I just don't know how to get there. Why do you ask? I haven't known both of you very long, but judging by everyone's reaction, it looks like y'all are going through a rough patch. It's been like this for a long time. Do you want to talk about it? There's not much to talk about. Silver doesn't trust me enough to confide in me, and there's nothing I can do about it. He loves you. Don't say things like that. Why not? I've seen how easily he opens up to you. I gulp. I'll be honest. When I heard he was moving in with you, it set me off more than I thought it would. But when I calmed down, I came to the realization that we're probably not going to last much longer. I've come to accept that. You still love him though, right? Kanto doesn't say anything. I pause, trying to think of what to say to him. Hey, do you remember the surprise party a few months ago? That was the first time I saw you and Silver together. I've never seen you smile like that before, or since. And the way you doted on him, it's very sweet. Kanto remains silent, and fixes his eyes to the ground. The benefit of being his roommate is that I've picked up on what his mood is like. He misses you, for sure. Since that day, I've never seen him look so genuinely happy. I'm not a relationship expert, but I don't know. I think y'all have something special. Oh yeah? Someone's an optimist today. He says in his usual sarcastic tone. Just take a look around. The world's gone to shit. But you're both still trying to make a relationship work. Hell, look at Silver. He's out there risking his life as we speak. Sounds like him. He can be annoyingly stubborn. We both know that. I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though he's been distant, I don't think he's trying to hurt you on purpose. That doesn't make it any easier. I get it, but I know he appreciates you being there for him when he needs you. I just wish he needed me more, Yeah, I do. He's self-sacrificing to a fault. Kanto smirks. Sounds like someone else I know. What do you mean? Let's face it, Cyrus. You're the walking definition of a martyr. Even now, you're trying to make me feel better over something that's not even your fault. Kanto sighs and crosses his arms. Damn it. You're making this harder for me, that. It's over. I've already accepted that. Trust me. I want to make it work. But it's not happening. You say that, but why haven't you broken up with him then? The dragon is surprised by my question. I don't know. Maybe I'm waiting for something. He looks away from me when he responds, as if dodging the question. It's not like I want this to be over, but is Silver even really trying? He just keeps leaving me in the dark. I sigh defeated. Kanto's right. He has every reason to be upset. You're not wrong. I get shut down every time I bring it up with him, too. Kanto groans and rests his chin on his palm. Anyway, thank you for trying to talk to him. Kanto looks a bit embarrassed and scratches his head. I know I can be kind of a dick sometime, and maybe we got off on the wrong foot, but maybe you're a cool guy, Cyrus. That's all. I'm sorry if it seemed like I was taking my anger out on you specifically. I think a part of me actually was. So, I'm sorry for how I acted. That's okay. I understand. I never took it personally. Regardless, I'm sorry. I appreciate you talking with me. Kanto takes a moment to collect himself and then whispers something under his breath. I just want to know what's going on with him. That's all. Sorry. Just talking to myself. I see. Well, thanks for keeping me company. Of course. Listen, if Silver really wants to make it work, he needs to talk to me. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'll hear him out if he's ready. How's that sound? Doesn't hurt to try, right? Kanto nods and crosses his arms, looking lost in thought. It's been a while since I've given relationship advice, but I hope I did okay. Kanto is smiling. I think he's really going to try to make it work. I hope they can. After all said and done, Kanto clears his throat. Anyway, where the fuck is Vita? They should have been back by now. The door slides open, revealing Vita in their casual outfit. Sorry about the wait. There was a good sale in town. How's going to the surface treating you? It's still a little nerve-wracking. I'm glad I had someone act as a bodyguard for me. Ooh. Boo! The hyena jumps from the doorframe. Only Kanto jumps. Jesus, fuck. Gotcha! Karen walks in with a couple of bags to plop on my bed. Hey, Asai, you feeling okay? So-so, but I can't complain. What you got there? Since the gym is off limits for you, I thought I'd get you some healthy food to eat while you recover. I already told her that you can't eat solid foods for a little while longer. Which is why I'm gonna blend it all up. Thanks, Karen. That sounds wonderful. Anything for a friend. Karen rummages in her bag. Speaking of, I got something for you so you're not bored out of your skull. She tosses something small at me. It's a brace. It'll help improve your grip strength. Oh, nice. I needed something to fidget with. My ADHD's going crazy while I'm sitting in bed, barely anything to do. If you don't need my services anymore, I'll be on my way. Yes, thank you very much. Same. Thanks again. Don't mention it. When's Cyrus getting discharged? Within the next week. Sounds good. I'll be around in the meantime. Kanto takes his ponytail out and heads to the door. Let me know if you need anything, Cyrus. Sure, thanks. As Kanto exits, Karen looks at me with confusion. Since when are you two so buddy-buddy? I shrug. Give him some credit. He's not that bad. Oh, I know. He's just a bit of a dick sometimes. That's what makes him endearing. Whatever you say. She turns towards Vita. Need anything else while I'm here? Not particularly. Thank you for the help. I'll perform your next maintenance free of charge. Sweet! See you both later then. Gotta get back to the gym. Without even a chance to reply, she runs out of the room. I can hear Vita quiet chuckle in the corner as they prepare a pot of tea. It makes me happy to see them enjoying themselves. Another cup, Cyrus Cantwell? I'd love one, thank you. The next couple of days are uneventful. I'm finally able to eat solid foods on my own again. Karen and Kato checked up on me frequently and kept me company. When it's just me and Vita, I let them work on whatever project they are in the middle of instead of chatting. True to the workaholic I am, I start reviewing the report Kanto sent me and I begin filling it out with a little more of my own intel. I haven't forgotten about my meeting with Titania, and now I have some relevant information to share with her. I haven't heard from Crystal in a while, and I'm getting a little antsy waiting for a follow-up. That is until she surprised me with a visit. My, you certainly bounce back quickly. Helps that I have a skilled doctor taking care of me. I can hear Vita groan in the background. That is true. Vita has been in our care for a long time, and has in turn taken care of many victims from Zoom. Crystal pulls up a chair next to my bed. I am, unfortunately, a very busy woman. I have a broadcast starting in an hour I'll have to attend, so I'll cut to the chase. You still want to meet with Titania? I cut her off. Yes. Really now? You're not scared? I'm terrified. I'm well aware of how lucky I was, but even so, I want to help in any way I can. It's as simple as that. If only it was. Crystal takes out her Axiom and starts to type on the screen. Regardless, it's your choice to make. We won't force you to live your life in secrecy. That being said, are you prepared to throw yourself back into hell? With all due respect, ma'am, that hasn't been my reality for the past few... Oh, with all due respect, ma'am, that's been my reality for the past few centuries. I'll be fine. Use me as a soldier I know I can be. I stare into her eyes with determination. Crystal is the first to break eye contact. She turns back to her Axiom to type something before swiping the screen away. Your meeting with Titania will be in 3 days, at 10 a.m. sharp. I've messaged you where the meeting will be. I look forward to it. I pull up my Axiom screen. I already have my report ready to go. Is that right? Minding giving little old me a preview? Sorry, it's a secret. You'll see. Oh, can't blame a reporter for trying to get the first scoop. Crystal stands up from her chair. Her heels clack as she heads towards the door. I look forward to seeing the results, Cyrus. Likewise. She gives me a nod before she exits. Vita gets up from their desk to hand me a cup of tea. With that out of the way, you're free to leave. You think so? It's mainly for my own sanity. I'm getting tired of the constant noise. Fair enough. Can I finish this cup of tea first? Yes. Leave it on the table when you're done. Vita pats a bag at their hip. I'm heading to the garden to do some work. If you need me, don't. I hear you loud and clear. I smile at Vita. Have a good day, Cyrus Cantwell, and take care of yourself. Please. I raise my cup to them. You do the same. And thank you again for taking care of me. Don't mention it. With that, Vita also takes their leave. I stare at my reflection in the tea. It's going to be an exciting next few days. My tapping foot is the only sound I can hear in the hallway. Fidgeting, I check the time. It's 9:55. Crystal will be here at any moment. It's been a while since I presented anything. This is more stressful than when I spoke in front of the board for my doctorate. I didn't sleep much last night. I was both anxious and excited. I rehearsed my pitch well into the night, to the point Silver made it home before I went to bed. At 2 in the morning, I went over everything with him. I feel kind of bad since I could tell he was tired, but he insisted that I give him a rundown. He said it's a toss-up whether they'll employ me or not. I'm too valuable of an asset. I flip my Axiom and go through all my notes again. My concentration breaks upon hearing a pair of heels clicking down the hall. I take a deep breath before straightening up. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Cyrus. How are you feeling? Ready. That's what I like to hear in the morning. Crystal extends the briefcase she's carrying. You mind holding on to this for one moment? I have to punch in the numbers. Oh, sure. No problem. I take it before moving out of the way of the elevator. She keys the numbers in for an extended period of time. When I think she's done, she swipes the card next to the number pad. Then she scans her eye. Something dings, then Crystal holds out her paw. Thank you for waiting. We're going to the lowest part of the base. You'll need to accompany me the whole way in and out. Classified information and all that jazz. With both hands, I hold out her briefcase. Glad to say, I'm no stranger to that. Crystal takes her briefcase with her right paw. I figured as much. The elevator door is open. Crystal directs me inside. After you, guest of honor. I can't tell if she's teasing me or being serious. Regardless, I walk with confidence into the elevator. Once inside, Crystal punches in another set of numbers into the screen. The door slowly shut, and we begin our descent. We're already pretty far underground, so I can't imagine how long it'll take to get there. Say, Crystal, can I ask something? What is it? Did Titania build the underground herself? Crystal raises a brow before smiling. Curious, are you? Kind of. It's funny. I've heard Titania's name thrown around a lot since I relocated here, but I know next to nothing about her. That's the way she wanted it. Even Vita's left the base more than she has. For a moment, Crystal's smile wavers. She's taken the necessary precautions to make sure that she and her organization never fall into the wrong hands. It might seem like we made little progress over the past 100 years on the outside, but that's the price we pay for our secrecy. To answer your question, she inherited the resistance from her father, but she helped make it into what it is today. She's been fighting a silent battle for as long as I can remember. That's part of the reason why I was so drawn to her. Crystal clutches her right hand, and she won't stop fighting until she can change the world. I want to make sure she can achieve that. You on TV and her in the shadows. You got it. And just let me say, it is very entertaining to see Resume's PR scramble whenever a controversy hits. They sweep it under the rug every time, but the cracks are already starting to show. Crystal snaps and then points to me. You being here is crystal clear proof of that. With enough pushback, Resume could crumble very, very soon. Darius deserves nothing less, but I've been thinking. About? What happens once we win? Resume is a horrible organization, but even I can't deny they've done a lot of good for people. Lots of those people will lose access to healthcare and essential treatment. Don't you worry about that. We're already taking steps to prevent a total collapse. While the transition will be rough and there's no guarantee our plan will work, we're going to divert funds from the resistance into a new public healthcare system. Damn, thought of everything, have you? We've had a lot of time to prepare, Cyrus. We're here. I crack my knuckles before slapping my face a couple of times to psych myself up. Alright, let's do this. I like that initiative. You're gonna do just fine. The door opens to reveal a narrow hallway. There's a giant door at the end of it, similar to bank vaults. Precaution indeed. Crystal heads over to yet another panel to open the door for me. My artificial heart beats faster. I'm prepared. I know I am. Even so, I heard so much about the fabled leader of the Resistance. I have to give her the respect that she deserves. A loud click echoes in the hall. The door's been unlocked. I gulp as I force my heart to stay calm. Crystal slowly pulls a giant metal barrier open. Behind it is a much smaller door. It's ornate and it looks like it's made of wood, with a shiny gold handle. Phew, this never gets any easier. The pink fox checks to make sure she didn't break her nail before presenting the door to me. Well, chop chop, she's expecting you. Yes, ma'am. I quickly walk up to her and grab the doorknob. Let's do this. I close my eyes as I open the door. The first thing I experience is how nice it smells. Opening my eyes, I've met with an oddly familiar sight. Titania's office is very reminiscent of fancy rooms back in my time. It's like the study of some rich and powerful, which is fitting, I guess. The plants shown about definitely make it look more comfortable to stay in. Ah, there you are. The sound of papers stacking catches me by surprise. Who I assume to be Titania is filling papers in an old school filing cabinet. She has her back towards us. Crystal walks past me to greet her. Hun, I know you're not still fiddling with those reports again. I just I just know there's something missing here that could help us turn the tide. I'm close to a breakthrough. I know it. You'll be happy to hear You'll be happy to hear what Cyrus has brought to the table, Titania. Titania turns around to meet my gaze. Oh, that's Titania! She looks tired, but determined. Do forgive me. I lost track of time. Titania smiles before setting her papers down. Both she and Crystal make their way towards the big wooden desk in the center of the room. I stare at her as she moves. So, this is Titania, huh? Come, have a seat. We have much to talk about. I couldn't agree more. With vigor, I walk and take a seat in front of Titania. She's sitting up straight. I look her directly in the eye. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to meet you. Likewise. It's nice to finally meet you in person, Cyrus. I've heard so much about you. Not too much, I hope. I am a pretty private person after all. Oh, no, not you as in you. Sorry. I misspoke. Aaron let me know a little about your role as a leader is all. Is that so? Finally, being face to face with the resistance leader already has me nervous. Titania chuckles and waves her hand at me. Come now, no need to be so serious. Think of this like you would any other job interview. Oh, but I am. Considering my last job I had was working for Current. No, resume. I take anything I sign up for very seriously. Fair enough. You seem in pretty high spirits considering your latest encounters. You take hardship with great strides. Oh, thank you, ma'am. But let's get down to business, shall we? She holds out her hand. Crystal promptly hands her papers that she begins to look over. I've been told you want to join the resistance. I've been told you want to join the front lines. Besides passing our military courses, I have no objections to this. However, is this something you're truly interested in, despite knowing the dangers that lay ahead? Absolutely. It's the only way I'm going to have a chance to break into Resume and finally take down Darius, once and for all. Titania gauges my emotions. Am I being too forward? Too rash? Very straight to the point. It's a sentiment we all share, isn't it? Considering what you've been through all these years, I'm honestly in disbelief that you have this kind of motivation. I see some real fire in your eyes. Titania flips through a few pages. According to my intel, you used to work directly under Darius centuries ago. What can you tell me about him? I cross my legs. Where did you get this intel? Who do you think? Yours truly, of course. Should I assume that you have access to Resume records? Bits and pieces. Why do you ask? I take out my axiom. While it might be on my subjective experience, I haven't forgotten my time in Resume. It's burned into my mind at this point. Throughout the past few days, I've been logging anything I could remember about how things operated. Not to doubt the validity of your claims, but how can we be sure your information is still relevant? It's been hundreds of years since you worked there. You asked me about Darius, right? The first thing I'll tell you is that he's a perfectionist. He will never admit that he's in the wrong. He's stubborn like that. I seriously doubt we can change his way of operations just because of me. I send my report over to Crystal, including all of my experiences and I've amassed over the past few centuries. It didn't take long to find out what kind of a person he is. He's selfish, arrogant, and dangerous. If he thinks he's right, he'll stop at nothing to complete his goals. Crystal's axiom beeps. She looks at Titania. Titania nods. If you'll excuse me, I'd like to go over all this information. By all means. Crystal bows before moving to a desk in the corner. The Vampire of Resume. That's how people refer to him. Even those who don't know the inner workings of the company. He's ruthless. He fully believes he should be leading this broken country. To be blunt, he's a megalomaniac. He thinks he's above everything and everyone who's ever lived. The only reason he got into the medical field was that so he could play God. save lives, and profit from them. I take a deep breath. Sorry, I got carried away. Don't be. You seem to have been wanting to get that off your chest for a long time. This might be a formal meeting, but I understand needing an outlet after all those centuries. But let's not prattle on too much about the man's character. With how he operates Resume, I could figure that much on my own. Titania chuckles. It's just frustrating. I pinch the bridge of my nose before sitting up straight. I forgot who I'm talking to for a moment. Anyway, I have more than enough resolve to see your goals through. Do you know what my goal is? That catches me off guard. To take down Resume. That's part of it, yes. Crystal returns. I guess she finished going over my report. She hands Titania some fresh papers. I'm going to keep going over Cyrus's notes, but he's left us with a lot of good information, including how to use lodestars to our advantage. Lodestars? That's a surprise. What is it that you found, Cyrus? Permission to take a weapon out of my Axiom? Granted. I take a prototype gun that Scrap sold me back in Golden Requiem, along with King's Axiom. So this is how you shot off King's arm. You sounded familiar with him. I interviewed him. Just once. I could tell he was a member of the faction, so I tried getting his face out there. Crystal shrugs. The brute shooed me off before I could get a word in, but we have records of work. Just getting footage of him was enough for me at that time. But that's neither here nor there. From what I read, you were able to access the data in his Axiom. Is that really true? It is. It's corrupted, but Kanto should be able to use it like any other Axiom. I slide the screen in King's Axiom. I shot his arm with a bullet made from a lodestar. Kanto says it caused it to overload. Does the Resistance have any spare lodestars? My pitch is that, given enough, we could extract data from countless Axioms while we're on the front line. Titania takes King's Axiom into her own hands. She slides through the fuzzy pages. We've never bothered keeping lodestars outside of trading. We're not in the market to manufacture that kind of machinery. I never believed that there would be a way to break into an Axiom. She sounds genuinely impressed as she fiddles with the oversized machine. That brings me to my next point. Here it is, what I've been waiting for. I would like to volunteer to go into the field and collect lodestars en masse. I have some fighting experience, but I'll admit it's not my forte, and it's mainly for self-defense. However, what I lack in brute force, I make up for in speed, thanks to Silver. Titania and Crystal exchange looks for an extended period of time, before they both smile. I wish I had courage like you, Cyrus. Very well, I approve of your venture. I have 4 conditions, one of which I'll leave to your judgment. What are they? As far as I know, this is the first time an Axiom has been overloaded like this. Therefore, I would like to move quickly and attain as many lodestars as possible. This may seem sudden, but you'll find that I don't like to waste time. Titania holds her hand, raising her index finger. As such, I want you to embark on your first mission in 2 weeks' time. You will have 6 months to collect as many lodestars as you possibly can, along with any other intel you may stumble upon. During those 6 months, you are to have no contact with anyone within the Resistance, outside of specific secure waypoints. Now that we know that Axioms have the potential to be hacked, it'll be too dangerous to use them to send sensitive information. We have to reevaluate our security measures. Additionally, you will not be permitted to return until your mission is complete. I can feel my face go pale. That's a hell of a first condition. Second, you will have someone accompany you as you travel. Someone who knows the land and can help keep you safe. It is also important to me that your partner be experienced in contact. While you may have held your own back there, it was only through the skin of your teeth. As such, they will be tasked with furthering your training while you're gone. Crystal chimes in. I know the perfect candidate. As do I, but I'm sure we're thinking of the same person. They both stare and glance at each other, then chuckle. Silver. I'll get in contact with him today. Excellent. I gulp. And the third condition? Crystal, if you would. Certainly. Crystal walks over to the drawer to retrieve something before walking back to me. She hands me a small but heavy box. It looks like... I look at Titania and she nods for me to open it. Upon doing so, my heart skipped a beat. Inside lies a shiny metal collar. A collar I've seen before. No! Oh. This is the same kind of collar those men who attacked us were wearing. What is it exactly? Titania lowers her head slightly, giving me a striking gaze for some reason. It feels like the atmosphere suddenly changed. It's called an Arcadia collar. It allows the authorizer to track the movements of the one wearing it, no matter where they are in the world. They're rare but useful. However, there exist versions of the collar that have been modified for more nefarious purposes. The one you're holding is a modified version, made specifically by Resume. It acts as a shock collar, a wiretap, and can even self-destruct. Rest assured, only you will have access to these features. Syncing your Axiom into it will grant you full control. If there's ever a moment you fear you may end up being captured, it's up to you whether or not to use the collar to your advantage. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I want you to have an out if the need arises. This is one condition that's up to you, should you choose to accept the mission. I see. Knowing that, it makes sense people from Resume would wear them. It keeps them quiet. Indeed. You will be chained to this mission for half a year. Even then, you might not be successful. I don't doubt your abilities, but lodestars have become incredibly scarce in recent years. I'm aware that in 6 months is a long time. However, the risk of your mission is relatively low compared to most of the men on my front line. We will provide plumes for living expenses, though. I would like you to keep interactions to a minimum. There's danger lurking around every corner. Titania folds her hands once again. With that being said, I'm surprised you aren't already familiar with Arcadia Collar. What do you mean? The men you had an altercation with were likely members of the Fraction, a military force made up of mostly Resume soldiers. As you might have guessed, they're a task force set out to find pristine carriers, and tasked to eliminate anyone who stands in their way of Resume's goals. The subject of pristine carriers is top secret. As such, members of the Fractions are forced to wear Arcadia collars to keep them quiet, or face death as a consequence. It's not limited only to them, though. Even people who work directly inside of Resume wear them. Anyone who knows the truth, it seems. I see. That does make sense. I'd never seen one before I was attacked. This must have come after Darius locked me away. I didn't see much outside of that room. Many of their uniforms tend to cover their neck. You likely never had a chance to see it. If that's the case, I think back to when I was captured by Clement. It's true. I couldn't see anything under the collar of his uniform. The men who attacked us didn't look to be in uniform, though. Perhaps Resume is becoming a little too big for their britches. Titania's expression changes to one of displeasure. However, that is not the issue at hand. I wasn't asking because of your history with Resume. I was asking because this is information Aaron should relay to you before ever going to such a shady establishment, and Golden Requiem of all places. I gulp. I know Aaron and his team can handle their own, but he should have been more cautious, especially with you of all people. The situation could have been avoided entirely. I knew the report sounded off. It feels as if I've only been told half of the story. Aaron is usually more aware of his surroundings. He's always made good calls in the past. That's why I saw a leader in him. So why is it that Aaron didn't immediately remove you from the situation when he spotted those collars? I've always instructed everyone to avoid confrontation when possible. Shit! She doesn't know that Aaron left me alone after all. I freeze as she stares me down. Eventually she speaks up again. And that brings me to my last condition. Titania points her finger at me, specifically at my face. Fix your hair, or you'll be fired before you even have a chance to sit through orientation. What? My hair? Let me be more specific. Dye your hair. It doesn't matter what color, any will do. Just do it immediately. You stand out like a sore thumb. You can only imagine my shock when you waltzed in here, hair as radiant as day. I received the reports about you. Titania closes her eyes and sighs. This is not a game. I don't need to tell you how foolish it was to wander around in public without any forethought into your appearance. I honestly should reprimand you and your team, especially Aaron, for allowing this to go on for so long. Let this be your first warning, Cyrus Cantwell. Danger's lurking around every corner, and you should always be fully prepared for that. However, in light of the new information you presented, I may let this slide. Aaron will not get off so lucky. I'll be arranging a meeting with him soon. I rely on him to present rescuees with any and all information needed to protect themselves. This is just careless. And that brings into question his role as a leader. I suspect there was more to the situation that I'm not understanding. I can feel my heart beating fast. I feel like a parent catching me in a lie. I haven't felt this in a couple of centuries. Considering the information you've given us today, I feel like I can put some trust in you. So I'll ask you this. What happened on that day in Golden Requiem? What am I missing? I lower my head in shame. It's best not to start my new position lying to my boss, I guess. I sigh and bring my eyes up to face to face. We were nearly done with our trip, and it seemed like Aaron had received a notification from someone about some intel. He asked me to stay put because his informant is apparently private. That's what he said anyway. I don't know what the intel is about. Shortly after he left me there, I was attacked. But he did manage to find me again, and he helped me fight those. Titania raises her hand, as if to cut me off. That's enough. I understand now. Mostly. She taps her finger on her desk multiple times, looking lost in thought for a few moments. I break the silence. I'm sorry I didn't tell anyone sooner. I guess I was afraid of getting Aaron into trouble. Don't be sorry, and give yourself more credit, Cyrus. You managed to fight off 2 soldiers on your own and dismembered their leader. That's quite a feat for a rookie. You've a fairly impressive resume already, it seems. I wasn't so sure before, but maybe what happened to you was a blessing in disguise. After all the tension, she finally cracks a smile. I chuckle nervously. Well, I'm glad you could see it that way. I apologize. I didn't mean for it to sound so rude. Aaron's actions were suspicious, if not foolish, but I don't believe he would betray us. No, there's something deeper going on here, but that isn't for you to worry about. I'll get to the bottom of it myself. It should go without saying, but do not tell Aaron of this conversation. I have my own suspicions that I want to confirm first. You talking to him about this could jeopardize that. It kills me knowing that I might have to lie to Aaron. Yes, ma'am. Of course. She relaxes her shoulders and leans back into her chair. At the end of the day, you both made it back safely, and I'm happy you're okay. Just please be more careful in your future endeavors. I nod. I do apologize for getting a bit heated earlier. Please understand, the resistance and our mission are very important to me. She gives me a soft, caring look again, like a parent. I nod in response. Now then, we should get back to business. I've laid out all my conditions for you. As stated earlier, you are to go on a mission for 6 months to collect lodestars, along with dyeing your hair to avoid any unnecessary trouble. Do you have any questions? I meet her question with silence. This is a lot to take in, and I'm not used to it. Ever since I woke up in this hellscape, I've been dealing with all kinds of challenges. This is just another. I'm a bit nervous about leaving for that long. I won't be able to return home the whole time. Is that right? That is correct. Until you've gathered the necessary resources, I don't want you to come back and potentially leave traces behind. Honestly, that's the hardest part. I feel like I've just gotten comfortable with my new life down here. Which you are more than welcome to continue living. These conditions are only if you accept the mission I have assigned you. That would be a good opportunity for you to get familiar with the lay of the land. I know you're familiar with how it used to be before the fall, but I think it would benefit you to travel. Took the words right out of my mouth. You could be the one to turn the tide in this century-long struggle. I wouldn't assign something so difficult for your first mission if I didn't think you were capable. In my line of business, I've had to learn how to read people. It's a matter of survival at this point. I'm putting my faith in you. I look down at the box with the Arcadia collar in my lap. I smirk. What's 6 months to 300 years? With a deep breath, I open the box, bringing the collar up to my neck. I fasten it closed. I accept these terms. Given that I have 2 weeks left to prepare, that'll at least give me an opportunity to say goodbye to everyone. Everyone's wearing the fucking collars, man. I do have a question, if you don't mind me asking. What is it? Earlier we talked about your goals. You said taking down Resume was only part of it. May I ask what you meant by that? Is there something else you're after? She leans in forward on her desk and places one hand over the other. I've already gathered you are someone that I can trust, so I don't mind sharing a little about myself. It's only fair after all. However, if you ever leak any of this information outside of this room, you're as good as dead. Of course, I would never. Good. I do have my own personal vendetta. She takes a deep breath. My father was a pristine carrier and was held captive in Resume for over a century. I certainly wasn't expecting that. It was pure luck that he was able to make it out. But it's a clear sign that Resume's infrastructures are falling apart within these past decades. It's why we can continue to rescue more carriers to this day, even inside Resume. There are people fighting. It's a very small handful, but it's something. You can only polish a piece of shit before too long before it starts to crumble. It pains me to say, but we've lost contact with a few of those informants over the years. I can only pray they didn't meet a terrible fate. I carry that guilt with me every day. This is one of the dangers we face while fighting Resume. Titania furrows her brow. Of course, my father tried to spread word. No one believed him. Resume always maintains a proper image to the world as an organization with the mission to help people when they need help the most. It should come as no surprise that my father was thought of as crazy and just trying to seek attention. Why would they believe him? When Resume caught wind of it, they tried to hunt him down. My father was always on the run. It took decades for him to build up enough connections to try to make a difference. He kept himself alive long enough to find a successor for his work, supposedly slowing the aging process until he did. That's when my mother came into the picture. She was another victim of Resume's machinations, and one of the first few my father and a small rescue team managed to help escape. Like my father, she was a pristine carrier. They were a kindred spirit in a way. Over time, they fell in love. My mother was the one who told me everything about my father and the pristine carriers. Wait, so if both of your parents are pristine carriers, doesn't that mean you're... Yes, I am also a pristine carrier. She places her hand gently over her chest. Unfortunately, my father passed away shortly after I was born. My mother was so kind, and also proud. She always talked to my father with reverence. But she wasn't long for this world either. Many people who escape aren't. I'm so sorry about your parents. It pains me to know someone else's family had to suffer like mine. I think about my parents, and Damien. I want to make sure a love story like that never has to happen again. That is my personal vendetta against Resume. I do this for my parents, and for everyone. When I was old enough, I took over the resistance from my father to continue his work. Titania extends her arm out to me. Ever since I was born, I've never left the underground. I told myself that I wouldn't leave until it was safe enough for people like my parents to walk freely. As we stand now, we're in no position to present anything to people. Without solid proof, no one would believe us. No one will believe the dark truth that Resume is swept under the rug. Titania folds her hands and looks me dead in the eye. Cyrus, can I trust you to aid in our fight? To make sure no matter what, no one has to live in fear of being used like fodder for the masses? I hold my right hand over my heart that Dr. Chow has blessed me with. I swear it. If I don't personally take down Darius with my own two hands, I'll consider it a failure. I won't let you down, Commander. Titania smiles warmly. Oh my, someone's fired up. Crystal's axiom beeps. Speak of the devil. Your partner has accepted the mission as well. Damn, you were right. Y'all don't waste any time. We don't have much to begin with. Every second is precious. Titania pulls her sleeve up slightly and looks down to the watch at her wrist. I apologize for cutting this short, but I do have another meeting to attend soon. Titania gets up to her chair before she offers me a hand. Welcome to the Resistance, Cyrus Cantwell. I'll be sending more information to your Axiom regarding the final details of your mission. I give her a firm and respectful handshake. Understood. Thank you so much. I'll be heading out to prepare. I wish you luck. I start to head towards the door when I hear Crystal speak. I'll be over with dinner later tonight. Alright, hun? I look forward to it. Titania and Crystal share a brief but tender kiss. Love you. Love you. I can't help but blush. Shall we head off, Cyrus? Oh, yeah. Let's. Crystal chuckles as she leaves Titania's side. Titania returns to her desk, preparing for her next meeting. Aw, love it. As we head out, Crystal puts Titania's security door back on. She's quite efficient with her time. You don't know the half of it, she says warmly. We make our way into the elevator, heading back to the base. I can finally relax, but I have a knot in my stomach now thinking about Aaron. I feel guilty letting Titania know what happened, but if this is something personal, maybe it's for the best. Hopefully I can see him soon and find out. My thoughts are interrupted by Crystal chuckling. What are you laughing at? Sorry, don't mind me. It's just been a while since I've seen Titania get so riled up, even if it's just for a little bit. No one can blame her for taking her position so seriously, I suppose. Congratulations, Cyrus. You did more than wonderful. I smile. The story about her parents. It resonated with me. It reminds me of my family. Oh? Darius gave me his word that he would give shelter to my mom and dad, and to my boyfriend at the time. It was a lie, of course. They didn't have the qualifications to be saved. I never got a chance to say goodbye to them. So it seems you and Titania have something in common. I place my hand over the collar, a firm reminder that while Resume still stands, I will never be free. I meant what I said. I'll make Darius pay. I think of my parents for a moment, and then Damien. Instead of feeling happy, I'm furious. Furious at how Darius had the chance to save them and didn't. I must be wearing my emotions on my face because Crystal decides to comment on it. There's that fire she saw. You're going to do great. I'm sure of it. I nod, looking at my face in the reflection of the elevator wall. I don't see the timid, weak man who was afraid of everything that could be looking around every corner. I see myself, smiling confidently, ready to take on the next thing that my life throws at me. I'm left stunned at the man in front of me. Whoa, okay, I got a little bit of chills. Gotta take a second there. I'm stunned, left at the man in front of me. The thing in front of me doesn't even look human, let alone alive. Presenting Darius Ismael Octobio in all his glory. A mechanical voice from a corpse-like body. That's enough. Back to your post. Dario bows. Of course, Your Majesty. I can hear Dario's footsteps walk away, but my eyes stay fixated on Darius. A chill runs down my spine as he finally addresses me. Welcome, Lance Krager. Tell me, how has Cyrus Cantwell been? Chapter 17. Departure. I can't even comprehend what he just asked me. I'm frozen and say nothing. Sitting right in front of me is Darius. The same Darius I swore all to kill those years ago. Now he's my employer. He looks as old as they say, like a mummy hooked up on life support. When he moves his head to look up at me, I jump. It seems someone is at a loss for words. Not that I can blame you. It is not often that I entertain guests these days. I hope you can make yourself at home. Hollow. That's the best I can describe how he sounds. I nod in his direction. I'm not sure if he can see me with that thing on his head. He doesn't hesitate to continue speaking. There is no need to feign respect, Lance. I have seen all I need to know about you in your files. Without lifting a finger, a screen projects on one of his armrests. I'm told you're still as hot-headed and tenacious. I'm told you're hot-headed and tenacious, and yet you stand so still. Is it that you are afraid of me? I feel my snout twitch. Is he trying to provoke me? Go on. Speak your mind. He's as arrogant as all the stories I've heard about him. I didn't get this far in life by being stupid. Well, mostly. I'm not about to get myself killed just for speaking out of turn. I see. What a cautious creature. Sure, whatever you want to call it. I ask once again, how is Cyrus doing? Cyrus? I wouldn't know. I haven't seen him in months. That is not that long ago. I've read the reports, but I wish to hear it directly from you. Humor an old man. He was a good friend, once upon a time. I guess I could say the same. I think back to the little time I spent with the soft human. Considering his amnesia, I'm not sure I ever got to meet the real Cyrus. The Cyrus I knew was naive and more than a little clumsy, but he had a good heart. As expected from one of our top doctors, at least at the time. One of our... Wait, does he mean... How the mighty have fallen. What a shame. Darius must like to hear the sound of his own artificial voice. I don't respond unless he asks me something. He had such potential, but as it goes, he turned out to be just another failure. You're aware of our relationship, are you not? Not exactly, no. You could call him a colleague of mine. We were both alive during the global announcement of the 7 stars. It was centuries ago, but I remember it vividly. They were beautiful as they were deadly. Cyrus and I have an argument over whom we should be saving. He eventually swayed me into making about 15 large shelters, the rigorous screening in order to enter. Only a select few were allowed in. It was for the progress of medicine, after all. There was no need to bring in those who served no purpose to our cause. He never did quite understand my vision. Naturally, our partnership could not last. And yet, you kept him around. Is that right? I did. He was working with one of our top scientists back before the fall. To show my gratitude for his cooperation, I promised to make sure that he'd survive. I did just what I said I would, but it wasn't enough for that boy. Remember this well, Lance Krager. I never break my promises. I gulp. Fur on my neck rises. A voice in the back of my mind is yelling at me to run away. Cyrus knew what he signed up for. He willingly gave his body for science. I couldn't have been prouder. But instead of taking advantage of his newfound immortality, he chose to hold an immature grudge. It still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Fuck, this guy pisses me off. Just think of the 1,000 lives he could have saved if he'd only cooperated and saw the bigger picture. As it were, being at the top of the medical field meant nothing to him. What a selfish boy. And now he's on the run, impeding my plans yet again. Darius shifts ever so slightly in his seat, which leads me to you. I was thrilled to see he wasn't lost forever. As quickly as he was taken from me, he was found. Clement thought he could hide his blunder. It's only a shame the Resistant reached him before I could. I can feel my eye twitch. I will give him credit where credit is due. Trying to fool us into thinking a different pristine carrier had been captured. A good effort, I would say. Luckily, you were there to fix his mistake, Lance. This compliment catches me off guard. Yeah, I guess I was just in the right place at the right time, sir. Indeed. Dario already briefed you on your new mission, correct? Yes, sir. Repeat it back to me. I am to capture Cyrus and bring him back to Resume. Correct. This is top priority. You are to bring Cyrus back to his containment cell, and I will see to it that he never has the opportunity to leave again. He will fulfill his promise to me, whether he wants to or not. It's only fair. What the hell's wrong with this living corpse? I don't mean to interrupt you, sir, but may I ask about my compensation? What's that? Considering Cyrus is this organization's top priority, I feel like I'm entitled to something of equal value. Ah, how about this then? Once I've confirmed Cyrus has been properly restrained, we will transfer 600,000 plumes directly to you. I furrow my brows and I grit his teeth. I recognize that number. Is he toying with me? With all due respect. Haha, I only jest. Cyrus is worth much more than that. One would think shelter and the allowance would be enough. Feel free to give us any amount you wish for, I suppose. I don't know what to say in this situation. I don't even want to be a part of this mission. Money will only get me so far in here. And the bounty being on Cyrus's head of all people. I know what I want, but I'm not sure yet. I need time to think about it. Very well. It is vital that he is returned to where he belongs. You have no doubt had a clear look at my disposition, have you not? It's hard not to. Living as long as I have has its fair share of consequences. This body is not the only thing to have withered away. The human psyche is so fragile and pointless. As one would guess, even my emotions have dulled away over the centuries, but to my advantage. Love, hatred, joy, anger, sadness. I am above petty and useless things now. God, he pisses me off. However, boredom is still something that plagues me. As such, I look forward to seeing more reports from you, Lance. It could be quite entertaining. Ha ha ha. I haven't known him for long, but I'm already tired of this man. But by now I've accepted that I'm fucked. I can't run from Resume, no matter what I do. This is my life now. Well, what is money worth if I can't be free? Then, can I ask for one more thing? You may. Why are you putting so much trust in me to find Cyrus? I don't have anything to lose at this point. It'd be easy to lead you all on just to protect myself. I'm trapped here after all. If you kill me, no one would care. And killing me means you'll have a considerably less chance to find Cyrus. Why don't you answer me that, old man? Arius doesn't respond. An eerie silence fills the room. Can't gauge his emotions at all. Not this corpse. The silence continues. I'm becoming irritated by this man, and by Resume and all its machinations. I'm right, aren't I? There's no amount of money you can offer me. Freedom. What? Finish the mission that fool Clement gave you before he perished. In exchange for Cyrus Cantwell, I promise you, Lance Krager, complete freedom. This would mean removal of your Arcadia collar, of course. To put it simply, I am just asking you to finish the mission you started. He's joking, right? Just like that? I can feel my throat go dry, but I push through it. Are you crazy? You would let me go despite everything I know? Lance, you're a man with no affiliations, no connections, no loyalty. You have no power here, I'm afraid. I could take what I know and go to the press and once I'm gone, and reveal everything. It does not appear that you understand. Let me present you with another quandary. Who would believe the words of a man who committed crime after crime, even before joining the Fraction? You've already betrayed the Resistance, and you would have betrayed Resume as well. You have nothing, and no one. You said it yourself, correct? That's not what I meant. Who do you have? Your comrade? Benjamin? And that girl? Whatever name she goes by now? They live in ignorance. Neither one of them knows the real person under the mask. You are not the victim here. You are simply paying for your mistakes. I ball up my fist so hard, I feel like I might bleed. Stop. You live to survive. That is why you committed so many atrocities until now. You're nothing but a rat scrounging for its next meal. Don't make me laugh. Death is not on your agenda. Find me that boy, and you are free to wander the desolate world once again as you please. Otherwise, you will remain under my control for the rest of your days. This man is the absolute ball of evil. If there is nothing else, you may leave. I've already briefed Dario on our meeting. Yes, sir. I turn on my heel, eager to get away from this decrepit man. Oh, but before you go, let me give you one piece of advice. I stop in my tracks, back turned to him. You would be wise to reconsider ever trying to provoke me again. I will forgive you this time. But heed my warning. If you ever attempt to impede my operation, I'll see to it that you never live a life of peace again. Freedom always comes with a price, after all. Never forget this. Now be gone. After a moment, I continue walking towards the entrance. The elevator door rings. I'm greeted by Dario once again as we start on our descent. Cyrus, your heart will be mine soon enough. What? I hate this man. Oh, sorry. Dario stands there with a shit-eating grin I've already become so familiar with. Without a word, I step inside and stand next to Dario. Despite trying to regain my composure, my heartbeat is off the charts, and my hands are shaking. I shove them into my pockets to try to hide the fact. I'm silent for a few moments before Dario speaks. So, how did it go? Look at your axiom. You said he already told you. I'd prefer to hear it from you. It's not every day that my dad calls someone into his office. I look at Dario, his aura of smugness. Not unlike Artemis. If I never have to see him face to face again, it'll be too soon. Dario bursts into laughter. I'm not surprised. Most people heave when they see my old man. I don't blame them. I take it you're not particularly close. Isn't that obvious? I'm no more important to him than you are, or anyone else for that matter. Dario shrugs. In the public, I'm just a puppet. Anything I say to the people comes directly from him. They think Daddy Dearest has long since passed, a martyr for years to come. He points up at the ceiling of the elevator. Meanwhile, he just sits up on his throne, thinks like the god he thinks he is. He's got them all fooled. Like God, huh? Per Dad's orders, you are now a ranking member of the fraction. Joy. Once King is out of the medical ward, you'll be following him. I work. Darius holds a finger to my snout to stop me. Darius holds a finger from my snout to stop me from talking. I really want to bite it off, but I'm afraid to show it. But I'm not afraid to show it on my face. Need I remind you where you are? You don't get to make any decisions anymore. You work for us now. You need to act like it. Besides, I'm sure you and King will get along great. I swipe the human's hand away. And why's that? You both like to cut loose and do things on your own terms. It's not exactly my own terms if you're the one telling me to do it. Get used to it. This is reality. Darius starts typing on his axiom. My own eventually beeps. There's this month's pay. As a member of the faction, you get paid in plumes now instead of that useless currency. Feel free to buy whatever you want. That's a freedom you still have. Like father, like son. Telling me what I do and don't have. What can I say? It runs in the family. The elevator dings, signaling our stop. Darius lets himself out first, to which I begrudgingly follow. As much as I'm having fun with you, I do have a meeting with Artemis right about now. Keep in touch, Wolfie. We're gonna be working together for the foreseeable future. Okay, fuck you! I hate you. Don't remind me. And don't forget about poor little Subject 02. I hear she's been missing you. She said that? Well, not to me personally. The security cameras in her room tell us plenty. You're disgusting. Farewell, Lance. You'll see me again soon. Dario gives one last smirk and walks away, leaving me alone. I start to make my way through the halls, still a bit shaken from my encounter with Darius. Now I finally have a moment to absorb what he told me about earlier. I knew Cyrus was important to presume, but I would never have guessed in a million years that he used to work with Darius. Who are you, Cyrus? Did you really regain your memories? Is the Cyrus I knew still in there? Does he remember me? With this new mission, I'll likely get my answer soon enough. But knowing what he's capable now, this will be anything but simple. I think back to that day, the last time I saw him, and I feel a pit in my stomach. It's still burned into my memory, the look of betrayal on his face when I... No, I have to get the hell out of here. Cyrus, there will come a day where you and I cross paths again. And when that day comes, I can't promise that any good will come of it. Oh my god. My nerves. My nerves are shot. My pacing footsteps echo throughout the halls of the underground base as I head towards Aaron's room. I grumble to myself out of anxiety. My first mission is coming up. I have to tell him sooner or later. I stare anxiously down the door to the hall. It's in that room that Aaron's been recovering in. Vita finally gave me the go-ahead to visit him. Assuming he's already talked to Titania, he must have known by now that I joined the Resistance. I'm curious how he'll react. Was he happy? Mad? Sad? Not to mention he's still not at 100%. I don't want to cause him any more stress. But he's a resilient guy. He should be fine, right? Gah. Well, if it isn't the ghost of Resume. My concentration is broken by a familiar voice greets me. Oscar and Stan walk over from the other side of the hallway. Oh, hey, you two. It's been a while. You're telling me. I might as well live somewhere else with how often they send me out. Don't complain. We got paid big this time. Is that all you think about? It's not all I think about. Just mostly. Jeez. Anyway, what are you doing? Dogman here could hear you from a few halls away. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to decide what I'm gonna say to, what was their name for Aaron? Tusk. Oh, yeah. I already got hurt real bad recently. Stan clamps Oscar's snout shut. Keep your voice down. Did something happen? You could say that. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to share. We got ambushed while traveling. I think he's doing better. You think? Oscar tries to talk as if Stan isn't holding his mouth shut. I haven't seen him since it happened. Stan chuckles. Didn't take you for the nervous type. Only when it's appropriate. I'm not sure what to say. How about, hey, how are you feeling? It's not hard. It's complicated. You promise to keep your voice down? Oscar tries extra hard to nod to Stan's request. Stan lets go of the husky snout. In my opinion, the longer you wait, the worse it'll be. I know if I was in the hospital, I'd be bummed out if my friends didn't come visit me. It's not that I didn't want to visit him, I don't know. Wait. Oscar gasps. What? Are you trying to, like, you know? He leans in to whisper, but it's more like a quiet yelling. Confess? I pause. My face starts to feel warm. Oh, ew. It already weirds me out when humans blush. Wait, what? I was joking around. You're really gonna confess to Tusk? That's so cute! I believe in you, Cyrus. He'll say yes for sure. Just watch. Hey, it's not like that. Exactly. Well, as much as I'd love to watch the soap opera play out, we do have to get going. Damn, meetings. Cyrus, text me later. You gotta tell me what happens. Stan and Oscar start to push down the hall. Oscar waves back towards me. Good luck! I said keep it down. Their bickering fades into the next hallway. I'm left alone in front of Aaron's room. Again. I take a deep breath and grab the handle sliding the door. They're right. How bad can it be? Aaron is sitting comfortably in his hospital bed. He's reading a book. I recognize it easily by the worn cover. It's the one he was reading when we first met. Besides the bandages around his neck and arms, he doesn't look so bad. I stand in front of the door long enough for him to notice me. We just stare at each other. Hey. Aaron smiles sheepishly before closing the book, trying to avoid eye contact. Hey. Can I come in? Aaron seems hesitant. Sure. Thanks. I grab a nearby chair, then pull it up to Aaron's bed. He isn't looking at me. So, Having so many things to talk about, I freeze, not sure what to start with. I awkwardly look around the room. I didn't know there was another medical wing over here. Ah, this whole hallway is the main hospital for the base. Really? Why haven't I been here? They don't have the experience to treat someone who escaped. That responsibility falls to Vita. Oh, well, it's nice. Glad they gave you a good room. Perks of being a leader, or so I'm told. I'm glad. You seem to be doing well. Tiger is acting indifferent, with crossed arms. Everything okay? Aaron shrugs before really looking at me. He raises a brow at me before opening his eyes. So it's true then. He points at my neck. Oh, I guess I have to get used to it. I guess I have to get used to this too. Yeah. It's an Arcadia collar. Makes sense that you'd already know. I had my meeting with Titania, and it looks like I'm part of the Resistance now. That's what I heard. Don't sound too excited. Wait, sorry. I mean, that's awesome. Congratulations. It's just that, I'm sorry. Hey, it's okay. I was joking. What's up? You seem tense today. Cyrus, Aaron looks away. How are you feeling? Well, I'm a bit nervous. I have my first mission to prepare for, and I meant, physically. How bad were you hurt after, Oh, well, I had a few broken ribs and internal bruising, which wasn't fun, but Vita fixed me up pretty good, though. You don't have to sugarcoat it. It was bad, wasn't it? Not really. It's my fault that you got hurt in the first place. I can't believe how stupid I was. That statement takes me aback. Aaron, what happened wasn't your fault. You couldn't have known those goons would be there. But it was my fault. If I didn't get sidetracked, if I didn't leave you alone, none of this would have happened. You can't blame yourself. It was out of your control. It was entirely my fault. Aaron raises his voice. I was the one who brought you to that shithole. I was the one who left you there by yourself. If something had happened to you, how the hell could I live with myself? Aaron covers his face with his right paw. How can I call myself a leader? I can't be this incompetent. What's wrong with me? I can't keep a single person safe on my watch. He's visibly trembling, the claws on his left paw digging deep into the bed sheets. You should be furious with me, Cyrus. How can you trust me after this? Okay, that's enough. I'm not used to interrupting people, let alone Aaron. But maybe this is the right time to confront my feelings about what happened. I won't let him keep spiraling. But I have to speak up. Okay, I won't sugarcoat it for you. Maybe I am being too nice about this. For your sake, I'll tell it to you straight. You made a bad call. Actually, several bad calls. You left me alone in a lawless city without even thinking about what could happen. You could have at least warned me to watch out for, these collars. Aaron flinches at my reprimand. He slumps down, guilt weighing on his shoulder. We got lucky. It could have ended so much worse. But there's one thing that I'm fully aware of what I'm getting myself into. I should have trusted my gut and ran the moment they appeared. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, despite everything that's happened to me. You'd think I'd be more cautious by now. Stop trying to blame yourself. I'm the one who brought you into that danger. And yet you still jumped in and tried to save me, like you always do. Listen, I'm not mad at you. I never was. I'm just relieved that you're safe, and we were able to make it out alive. Here, look at me. Do I look worse for wear? Aaron slowly cracks his right eye in between those fingers. What do you think? Collar looks good on me, right? He chuckles nervously before sliding his paw off of his face. Look, if we hadn't dealt with those guys, I probably wouldn't have landed a job with the Resistance. You're talking about the Lodestars. I heard. That's right. Here's an old saying. Even when you fall flat on your face, you're still moving forward. It's okay to make mistakes, Aaron. It just means you're human. Or, well, Beastman. You get it. This was more than just a mistake, Cyrus? You can stay angry at yourself, but I've already forgiven you. I smile at him. You know, ever since we took that trip back to my old house, I've been starting to look at everything differently. We found those letters and something changed. The future feels brighter. You did that for me, Aaron. How could I ever be mad at a person that makes me as happy to be alive? He looks like he wants to cry, but he's holding himself back. What I'm trying to say is, I'm learning to look at the silver lining more these days. Oh. Here, give me your paw. What for? Just do it, please. Aaron holds out his massive paw to me. I try my best to wrap my pinky around his, though his is a lot thicker. Promise me, you'll move on from this. Aaron has a somber expression on his face. I know the world is a scary place, but I'm ready to experience it. I appreciate that you're so dedicated to protecting me, but I want to protect you too. I take a deep breath. And that's because I love you, Aaron. You mean a lot to me. So please, take care of yourself and stop worrying about this. Instead of shaking my pinky, Aaron gently covers my hand with his paw. Thank you, Cyrus. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you worry. Same to you. Just know that I'm here for you, okay? Okay. You mean a lot to me too. I'm really lucky to have a friend like you. You see me as more than a leader, and more than my past. There aren't many people in my life like that. I don't really have an option to be vulnerable in front of them. I nod. Aaron takes a deep breath and sighs. You said you want me to move on, but the truth is, I think that's always been my problem. There has been something I've been meaning to bring up. I've just been too afraid to say it. Well, I have no plans for the day. Do you want to just sit here and talk? I'd like that. Alright. What's on your mind? How do I put this? Since I've been out, I've had all this time to just lay down and think about things. A lot of things. The biggest thing being that I think it's time I should move on. Back in Golden Requiem, I received a notification from an informant about a possible tip regarding Xavier. But it turns out it was just a fluke. They had the wrong person. So this was about Xavier. While I was wasting time on that, you were in trouble. And it's because I let my mind get clouded thinking about Xavier. I told myself it would be real quick, it would be fine. Hell, I should have called Silver or Karen to keep watch. But I thought I finally had something. Anything. Just the tiniest glimmer of hope after all the radio silence. Maybe there was a chance I could finally see him again. I don't even know if he's alive anymore. I still love him. I do. But after what happened, I had to take a step back and really think about everything. Even when we rescued you, I was too lenient. It's no wonder Kanto and Aaron and Karen were on my case before. There's no room for leaders like me, needlessly putting others' lives at risk. And so, I finally came to this conclusion. I need to focus on what's right in front of me and put my team first. Part of that is accepting that Xavier really might be gone. He squeezes my hand with his paw. Cyrus, I don't want to lose you, but my feelings for you are complicated. That's part of why I've been struggling so much these past few days. Well, it's good to know I'm not the only one struggling with this. What do you mean? Back in my hometown, I decided it was time for me to move on from my past too. That included moving on from Damien. He was everything to me. But he said keep going, and not to hold myself back for his sake. I guess we're more alike than I thought, huh? If only they could see us now. Aaron sheepishly scratches the side of his cheek. Do you mean what you said? You love me? I do. He hesitates. Cyrus, I like you a lot. I've had some feelings for a while. Even, it's just, not really sure. Like I said, it's complicated. Right. That's okay. Is it? I mean, even if nothing comes from it, you're still my best friend. Aaron starts to grumble to himself. Well, now I feel guilty. I wish I'd figured this out sooner. Don't worry. I probably should have put more thought into my confession. I scratched behind my head with my free hand. It was a spur-of-the-moment decision, but now I have to deal with the fact that my feelings are out there. Maybe it's best if we hold off on this. Give each other time to think about it. Doesn't mean we can't try later. Yeah, of course. We smile at each other. Though the tension should be broken, my chest still hurts with the guilt that I've kept hidden away. Nagging guilt that's been prickling up at me for months. Truth is, I didn't just come here to confess my feelings. I don't think there will ever be a good time to tell him this. I took a deep breath. Listen, I also have something I've been meaning to bring up, but I could never figure the right time. Uh-huh. When I got my memories back, I was still a bit cautious of all of you. I did keep one thing to myself. Back when I was in Resume, I vaguely remember hearing someone mention the name Xavier. I can hear a shudder gasp escape Aaron. He stares at me, mouth slightly agape. Oh. The nurse gossiped a lot. I overheard the conversation between a few of them. I'm positive I've heard the name Xavier come up. There was no context. The context wasn't so pretty, though. One time, they dropped by the containment room I was being held at to check on my vitals. Oh no. Did you hear? They finally managed to... did you hear? They finally managed to find that one carrier that escaped recently. Oh, is that so? What was their name? Xavier. I'm pretty sure I ran tests on him long ago. The higher-ups should consider themselves lucky. We hardly ever find them once they escape. That would be an issue in the first place if they hired the proper security. I'm not so sure about that. I've heard there are informants working covertly in Resume. There's likely why there's been so many escapees in the recent years. You didn't hear that from me, though. I feel like I can't trust anyone anymore. All we can do is keep our heads low now. I'll tell you one thing. No one will ever see that boy again. What do you mean? I heard when escapees return, they're locked away in the deepest confines of Resume. Even I don't have clearance for those areas. Oh my. What do they do to them? I wouldn't know. Resume becomes their coffin, so to speak. Resume sounds kind of scary, if I'm being honest. I've never been to the main headquarters before. I'm sure you will eventually. Don't worry, it's actually quite beautiful inside and out. I see. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just all the rumors. Maybe it's all just rumors. Maybe he's still alive and okay. I can't know that for sure. I just never said anything because I started to learn how close you and Xavier were. The more I got to know you, the more dangerous it felt. And I didn't want you to do something reckless. Aaron finally lets go of my hand and leans back to rest his head against the pillow. He stays quiet for a while, but he's smiling. I can see a bit of sadness behind it. Aaron? Thanks for telling me, Cyrus. Maybe you were right to keep it from me all this time. Look what happened to us. I almost got you killed because of it. Aaron sighs and stares up at the ceiling longingly. Xavier would be so angry with me if he knew I put others in danger for his sake. He pauses for a moment and takes a deep breath before looking back at me. Just one other thing for me to think about while I'm on probation, I guess. Wait, what? Oh, right. Of course you didn't know. As of a few days ago, I've officially been placed on temporary leave. Titania was furious with me when I told her what happened, but I think she understood when I explained myself. Of course, she couldn't overlook my mistake, hence my punishment. I'm sorry. I feel like that's not my fault. It's alright. She told me you were the one that snitched on me, though. I gulped and Aaron chuckles. I deserve it. Don't worry, Cyrus. I'm a little surprised she made you go underground, considering your injuries. Oh, Actually, she came here. To my utter shock and surprise. Wait, you mean she came to your room? Up to the higher levels of the base? You're kidding me. And after she went through a whole rant about how she never left her room. Hey, I was surprised too. She wasn't taking the situation lightly, it seems. I'm not sure if I should be happy for her or concerned. I wonder what that's all about. I was so nervous, I didn't even think to ask. That's... wow. But I guess you're the one I should blame for my scare of a lifetime, huh? I'll let it go. Only because you must have made a good first impression to get hired. I'm proud of you. Good first impression might not be the best way to describe it, but thanks. It was definitely nerve-wracking, but it was worth it. I feel a little bit more relieved now. It seems Aaron has calmed down a bit. So, how do you feel about your first mission? I'm a little nervous, to be honest, but I'm also excited. I won't see you for a while. I think that's the part I'm most worried about. We both look at each other with a sheepish expression. 6 months is a pretty long time, isn't it? Yeah. I was serious when I said I have to move on. I need to accept that what I'm feeling in the present and my feelings for you are very real. I blush a little. I know it's well in advance, but how about this? When you get back from your mission, why don't we go on our first date? I choke on my own spit. Pardon? Maybe that was a bit too forward. I'm just joking. Half joking. Just trying to lighten the mood. You're trying to give me a heart attack. I'll miss moments like this, though. Titania says there are waypoints we can use to contact each other, but it'll be tough. That being said, I really am excited to go out into the world. I think that's what I like most about you, Cyrus. You're not afraid to go after whatever you want, or what you think is right. It should be my job to inspire others to be better, but you're the one inspiring me. For what it's worth, I think you're a pretty great leader. You say that, but even I have long ways to go. Then just don't forget about all the progress you've already made, okay? Alright, I'll try not to. The same goes for you, rookie. You really did kick some ass out there, by the way. I chuckle. I guess I am the rookie of the team now. Don't worry, Captain. I've got your back. I go along with his playfulness, but he replies sincerely. Thank you, Cyrus. Let's see, what else do I need? With my axiom screen out, I go over what little belongings I have. My bed has a lot of miscellaneous things I'd like to bring, but don't need to. I always stored away stuff I got from Golden Requiem and a few sets of clothes. Food and water could be an issue, but I'm sure Silver knows how to handle that. Then there's our transportation. Surely they won't give us an in-vehicle just for the two of us. I wonder if Titania's got something planned for that. While lost in thought, I hear the door open behind me. Silver peeks his head in before making his way inside, the door closing behind him shortly. Looks like someone's anxious. Just preparing, that's all. I take it you've been briefed? Yep. Madam Pink Pantsuit just gave me the details. Silver rolls his eyes. Of course, she puts me on another long-term trip. She probably just thinks you're capable. Yeah, well, I think she's an annoying bitch. Harsh. That's me putting it lightly. Don't worry, I'm sure she said far worse about me. I think she cares about you, in her own very weird way. I still can't bring myself to forgive her. She knew what Ash and I were going through living there. That's fair. Here we go. Besides all that, she's always getting into my business. Well, that does seem to be her MO, being the intelligence officer and all. I don't think we'll ever see eye to eye. Ash likes her just fine. He's forgiving like that. Not me, though. He coughs, finally realizing he's gone off on another rant. Anyway, want some help with preparing? Couldn't hurt. I've never taken a trip this long before. Try not to overthink it. while we're on the road. We only need couple of weeks of supplies at a time. Silver takes out the screen on his right axiom. We're going to be covering a pretty large area. We'll be able to port from time to time, but we'll be traveling by foot the rest of the way. I groan. Not much of a walker, huh? I used to run with my boyfriend, but it must have been many years. You'll just have to get used to it. We need to keep a low profile. Speaking of, how do you feel about chokers? Excuse me? You don't want to look like those idiots in Resume, so we need to cover your Arcadia collar somehow. Oh, that's a good idea. If someone knew what it was, it would be a dead giveaway. Yeah, I'd rather us avoid another stupid mistake. I pause. He just said that with some spite in his voice. Everything good? You know we're roommates, right? I know you, and you're not exactly subtle when you're mad about something. He crosses his arms and scowls. I went to visit Aaron recently. He told me everything. I wasn't really thrilled when I heard about what happened at Golden Requiem. You didn't yell at him, did you? Of course not. I'm not going to kick a man while he's down. Doesn't mean I wasn't angry about it. Aaron and I talked about it already. It's fine. Really? It's fine that you almost died? I had faith in him to keep you safe, considering it's kind of his job in the first place. Silver. He was careless and stupid. It sucks about Xavier, but he's still our leader, and he failed you. I've never met the guy. I don't have any attachments to him like the others do. He needs to get a grip already. I sigh, frustrated, and then adjust him firmly. Just let it go. Trust me. Trust me when I say he regrets it, okay? Silver breaks eye contact before he stares at the floor. He looks annoyed at first, but then seems to relax again. Sorry. Just didn't sit well with me is all. Believe me, I get it. Just let's forget about it, okay? Silver sighs and drops his arm to his side. Fine. Sorry. I run my fingers through my long locks. Oh, yeah. I didn't get to tell you, but I have to get my hair dyed. Or rather, I was ordered to do so as a new member of the Resistance. Silver chuckles. Titania, I assume. Yeah, I don't have a choice. It's that or get fired. Well, now that you're officially going to be out in the field, it only makes sense. Gotta keep a low profile like me. Become a shadow. By the way, there's a few nights where you won't be able to bathe, right? Ugh. I'll try to look for some dry shampoo then. Silver snickers. I'm kidding. Mostly. We can rent a portable bath and store it in one of our axioms. Oh, thank God. We should stock up on toiletries. We can go shopping, if you'd like. I've been shopping a lot lately. I might try to order stuff this time. Sounds good to me. Less effort, too. What about you? Need any help? This ain't my first rodeo. I'll figure it out when we get closer. I take a few minutes to finalize my inventory. During that time, I think back to my previous conversation with Kanto. They were in the best shape last we spoke. Is he okay with Silver going away for this long? Well, Silver's here now, so it doesn't hurt to ask. Oh, by the way, how did Kanto take it? The whole 6-month mission thing? Silver doesn't reply. You did tell him, right? The silence is deafening. Silver, I'll tell him in a few days. I think you should tell him now. Again, it's not like this is new to us. It's fine. I consider bringing up Kanto's feelings, but that wouldn't be fair to him. Well, whatever you think is best, just make sure you tell him soon, okay? Anyway, I just need to pick something up. I gotta head out in a sec. Busy as usual. You know it. Oh, are you free on Thursday? As far as I know, why? Silver looks at the door to make sure we're alone, even though we're in our room. Gets real close and whispers something to me. How do you handle surprises? Fairies, I guess. Silver has a mischievous look on his face. Do you want me to spoil you? I don't know. Sure. They're going to throw a party for you on Thursday to celebrate your first mission. It was Karen's idea. You told her before Kanto? That's not important. What's important is for you to be ready. For what? A party? It's going to be a long time before you see everyone. You want to make the most of it. I see. That's oddly sentimental coming from you. What's that supposed to mean? Is it weird that I'll miss my friends? Not at all. I know you will. I'm just getting nervous again. I wish I was as calm as you are about it. I'm gonna miss everyone. Don't be nervous. We're gonna have a good time digging up for a bunch of rocks. When you put it like that, I can't wait. I say sarcastically. Still, we laugh. Just a few more days, huh? The fateful day is almost upon us. Silver and I are set to leave tomorrow evening. Karen came to my room midday to ask if I had anything planned. I had to feign confusion when she invited me to dinner that evening. She denied that it was going to be at Starlight Road. I could tell she was trying to come up with an excuse as to why she said it was a secret dinner thing. Acting confused got harder. When I said I'd be happy to come, she deflated like she thought I'd turn it down. The party is going to be up in a conference room up in the base, one meant for social gatherings. I decided to show up 40 minutes early to see if she needs any help. Karen was in the middle of pouring herself a drink when I walked in. At some point, I convinced her to let me stay to set things up, but only after I admitted to knowing about what tonight was really about. That damned fox. Why do you have to go and ruin the surprise? He's an assassin. They hate surprises, naturally. Doesn't mean he has to ruin it for the others. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be fun regardless. I intend to make the most of it. You excited? Yeah. I hear the parties here are crazy. No, you goof. I meant for tomorrow. Oh, yes. Also, yes. I'm excited for that too, if not kind of nervous. Good. Silver wants to leave at nightfall tomorrow, so we have plenty of time to prepare. Feels like an awkward time to set out, if I'm being honest. You were just going on about how he's an assassin. You're less likely to be seen if you drive at night. I guess. Think back to how Silver left us at the campsite. Though I don't have good night vision like y'all do. Oh, don't worry. We took care of that too. Karen grunts as she shipped a rather large table all by herself, holding it above her head. Let us know if you need anything before you leave. We still have some time. Thanks, but you sure you don't need any help with that? What? You kidding? She laughs as she starts holding the table with her real arm. Fair enough. I'll leave the heavy lifting to you. In that case, you can start up by setting the cups and keg. You can start by setting all the cups and keg up. You can handle that, right? Leave it to me. Oh, by the way, there is actually something I wanted to ask you. Lay it on me, rookie. I think I need to make another appointment with my favorite hairstylist. Favorite stylist? Who? Cyrus. Are you cheating on me? I'm flabbergasted. What? I'm talking about you, silly. Oh, really? I'm your favorite? She gives me the biggest pair of puppy dog eyes I've ever seen. You're my only stylist. Just kidding. Of course I am. And it better stay that way. She lets out a hearty laugh. But seriously, what do you need done? I need to dye my hair a different color. Boss's orders. You have not dyed your hair this whole time, Cyrus? Oh my god. Boy, it is going to be bleeding for days. You're going to get it all over your Nope. I'm not getting into this. Is that all? That's easy. We can figure it out tomorrow morning. But first, we got to finish setting up for your party. She winks and then continues doing what she was doing before. Karen and I chat away as we finish setting up the party. She says it was last minute, so not many people would be able to come. That being said, close to 50 people have RSVP'd already. I only know about a dozen people here at the Resistance. Now that I'm a part of them, it'd be in my best interest to make a good first impression. Slowly but surely, people start rolling in. While stacking cups, I feel a tap on my shoulder. Aaron smiles down at me. He was just released earlier today, so I'm happy he seems to be in good spirits. I try to resist the urge to hug him because we're in public, but he's got a reputation to uphold and after all. That doesn't stop him from picking me up for a massive bear hug. Yeah, Uncle! I exclaim, patting his back as he squeezes the air out of my lungs. Aaron chuckles before setting me down. Sorry, just excited to see everyone again. Me too. We haven't got the gang in a while together. together in a while. Such is life, being a mercenary. The tiger shrugs up before moving to pick up a box off the ground. Is it okay? Is this an okay to set up some food? Should be. Rose didn't give me a lot of guidelines. Figures. That's her style after all. Aaron starts unpacking containers of hot food. Wait, did you cater for the party? More or less. It's been a while since I've been in the kitchen. Naturally, I couldn't turn down this opportunity. Hope it wasn't too much for you. You're still recovering. That's what I should say to you. Looks like you worked up quite a sweat. Who, me? Psh, I'm fine. Trust me. Oh, I made something special. Just for you. I gasp. Did you make? I did indeed. I figured you'd want carbonara one last time before a big trip. Yes! You'll need to teach me your recipe. I can try to make it while I'm on the road. I'll send it to your Axiom before the night is over. Let's just enjoy ourselves tonight, yeah? You bet. I can't wait to meet everyone. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm kind of a celebrity down here, as it is. Aaron points to my Arcadia collar. That alone will clue people in. Those collars are usually safe for high-profile missions. Really? Titania made it seem like it was some under-the-table kind of thing. I shouldn't be surprised. You are a special case, after all. Most people start small when they're recruited. It was a long time before I ever got asked to wear one of those things. Oh, Lord. Hope that doesn't raise people's expectations of me. I think you're gonna do just fine. You held it together against a member of the Fraction. Most people here can't say the same. I think you're being a little dramatic. I'm serious. You'd be surprised how many members of the Resistance stick to strictly volunteer work. Not everyone is a fighter. Many of us go around to different cities to help those in need. It's part of Titania's initiative to help bring the country together. So, fighter or not, it was still impressive. I don't think I'll have to worry too much about you being gone. Well, like I said, I'll make sure to give you progress updates when I can. And I'll do the same. We continue setting up the table, and I watch Aaron place out the food he carried in. While I'm looking at the spread, my mouth starts to water. It doesn't look different from the typical finger food you find at a party, but it's been centuries for me. While Aaron isn't looking, I swipe a few sandwiches and quickly store them away in my Axiom. You never be too prepared. Hunger can strike at any moment. I have no idea why I'm trying to be discreet. This is my party after all. Oh well. By the time the party got going, it became hard to greet everyone. I'm pretty sure at least 100 people showed up. The more the merrier, they say. Being the center of attention has never been my forte, but the party is technically for me, so I try to be a good guest of honor. People are staring at me and I start whispering. Some pointed to my hair while others pointed to the collar. Aaron introduces me to a few people I've never met before. To my surprise, they're other escaped Pristine carriers. I guess I never expected to see other carriers working for the Resistance. Some are human, and some are beastmen. Everyone has their own story they're writing. I think that's beautiful. Despite my eagerness to party, there's only so much socializing I can handle before I feel the need to escape. Just as I'm about to go get some fresh air in the hall, a certain fox stands in front of the door. Hey, where do you think you're sneaking off to? My battery's drained. I need a breather. Might have to wait. I think Rose is about to make the big announcement. The what? The sound of the mic feedback fills our ears. What's up, party people? Unsurprisingly, Karen gets the crowd going pretty easily. I point to the stage. Does she want me to go up there? Afraid so. Silver's smirk fades, and his ears fall back. Confused, I look behind me. Kanto is in the crowd looking around, soon spotting us. Go ahead. I'll sit the announcement out. I don't have a chance to reply as Silver tries to leave himself. Karen points to me. What are you doing over there, rookie? Get up on stage! Oh god, I feel my cheeks getting flushed. This isn't just another test. With feigned confidence, I make my way up to the stage. Please welcome the newest member to the crew. Normally, this would be the time to announce his first alias, but as you know, he's pretty famous. Regardless, Cyrus is a member as much as the rest of us. Y'all better treat him right, or you'll get my metal arm right up your ass, and not in the fun way. The hyena holds the mic out to me. Wait, fuck! I never prepared a speech. I take it with a bit of hesitation. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to make it out tonight. I whisper to Karen. What do I say? Whatever you want, she says in an excited whisper. Thanks. I clear my throat. Well, I wasn't really expecting to make an announcement tonight. I'm also not the best at these kind of things, so here goes. I just want to say I'm looking forward to working with you all to take down Resume. I was stuck in there for a really long time. Longer than most people are alive for. So, if anything, I hope you can trust me when I say that I'm going to give it my all. As most of you know, my first mission starts tomorrow. Everyone's been asking me how I feel about it. My answer is still the same. I'm excited to get to work. I'll be gone for a while with my good friend Talon. In that time, I hope to grow to a valuable asset to the team. Thank you again for coming out, and I hope you enjoy the party. Similar to Karen is manning the mic. The crowd roars. My embarrassment shows as I scratch my cheek. I hand the mic back to Karen. Can I leave now? I'm a bit overwhelmed. Of course. Go enjoy yourself, guest of honor. I will. Thank you. As I turn to leave the stage, I see Kanto and Silver in the corner. They look like they're arguing. This doesn't look good. My gut's telling me that can only mean one thing. Before I can reach the floor, I see them leave the venue. By the time I get outside, they're nowhere to be found. I do hear some footsteps in the distance. They're trying to be as stealthy as possible. I follow them. I probably don't need to on account of Kanto's yelling. I can tell they're right around the next corner. I stay put, trying to listen. I can barely make out Silver's voice. What I do hear makes him sound pitiful, scared, confused. How is this any different? That's part of the problem, isn't it? I gulp. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. Of course not. You never do. Uh-oh. For a moment I consider stepping in, but I stop myself. Look, I think it's time to cut the bullshit. You have your life, and I have mine. I'm taking the hint loud and clear. But no, I'm not doing this anymore. Not until you tell me what's going on with you lately. I expect to hear Silver reply, but all I hear is silence followed by a defeated sigh from Kanto. You know what? Fine. I'm tired of being your afterthought. I'm not gonna sit here and feel like shit anymore. I hope you have a safe trip. Goodbye, Silver. With that, I hear a heavy set of footsteps walk further and further away, followed by a lighter set quickly running away. Oh fuck. What should I do? What can I do? At the end of the day, these are two adults. I can't just force them to be together. We're leaving soon too. I don't want this to be how they end things. I walk towards the hall where I heard the voices. Sure enough, no one's there. Kanto can probably handle himself. It's Silver I'm worried about. I try to think like Silver. Where would he go? He's feeling vulnerable. To Ash? No, he's the type to be alone. There's only one place I can think of where he can be alone. Mostly. I make my way down to the hall. I'm hoping my instincts are right. It's about a 5-minute walk to our room. Should I knock? No. It's my room too. That'd make it even more awkward. I'll try to act natural. If he asks why I'm at the party, I'll say I forgot something and needed to grab it. Easy, right? I sigh. It's never that easy. Nothing to it but to do it. I put the door code in and walk in. The lights are off, as expected. I hear something rustling in the corner. I decide not to turn on the lights for his sake. leaving only the hall to illuminate the room. I can tell Silver has already turned on his cot, trying to act like he's asleep. You know I can tell you're faking, right? 'Cause you usually snore. Silver rolls over and glares at me. The fur under his eyes looks damp. I don't snore. Yeah, I know, but I got you. I walk over and plant myself next to him on the floor. I don't say anything right away. Trying to find the right words is difficult. Well, go on. Out with it. You can tell? I know you heard us. You're not that stealthy. I chuckle nervously. Then I'll cut to the chase. What's going on, Silver? You know I'm here for you. I don't want to talk about it. Well, not talking about it is why you're here in the first place, isn't it? Come on. I think for a moment. I have an idea. Let's get out of here. We could go to the surface for a bit. What for? Just to get away from everything. You know, whenever I was feeling down, my best friend would come in barging and drag me in out of bed. You mean Diana? Yep. Then she would stow me away in her car and we'd go driving around town or go to a park or something. It's easy to get lost in your own head sometimes. So, what do you think? Silver slowly sits up in his cot and looks over at me. After a moment he nods. I stand up and extend my hand to him. Sound like a plan then? After we make our walk through the base, we finally reach the surface using the elevator. Once the doors open, I step outside and Silver follows me. I take a deep breath and look all around. It's a clear night. The stars are bright, and there's even a cool breeze. The crickets are lively too. I find a nearby boulder to take a sit on. I pat the spot next to me, inviting Silver over. He looks hesitant for a moment, before finally walking over to join me. Come on, let's sit down. A little bit of fresh air always clears my mind. We've got a great view too. Look. I point up at the stars. Silver looks up for a moment before taking a seat next to me. I notice his gaze drops down to the dirt below him. He looks lost in thought. You hungry? I stole some snacks from the party earlier. Maybe it's just me, but thinking on an empty stomach just makes me feel worse. I open my Axiom inventory sphere. After pressing a few buttons, 2 wrapped up croissant sandwiches drop into my lap. I pick one up and hold it out to Silver. He doesn't answer, but he takes it anyway. Thanks. We sit in silence for a few minutes, quietly eating together. But it doesn't take long before I hear sniffling. Despite that, he keeps eating away until he finishes his sandwich. I say nothing at first, but I start rubbing his shoulder after a few moments. I screwed up, Cyrus. I really screwed up. What do you mean? His voice cracks a bit when he responds. I don't even know where to start. That's okay. I just didn't think I would feel this bad. He deserves better than me anyway. Why is that? Because I don't know how to do any of this. I have no idea what it means to be a good boyfriend. I wasn't ready. I can hear the frustration in his voice. Back then in that orphanage, I wasn't allowed to feel anything. That's why I'm so good at what I do. It's probably why I have such a messed up relationship with my feelings. I think that's the part of me that really left that place. I'm still stuck there. That makes sense. The past sticks with us hard sometimes, no matter what we do to try to move on. It's too much, Cyrus. I can't focus on my missions while worrying about someone else. It was hard enough letting Ash go off on his own. So, what are you trying to say? He takes a deep breath. I can't be with Kanto. Not right now. But I was too much of a coward to say it after all this time. Now everything is fucked up. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and I never said a damn thing. You say that, but there's a reason you've lasted this long. Because it feels like he's my anchor. I owe him so much. I was afraid of losing him. And then, I did. The white fox lets out a staggered breath as he's covering his eyes with his left arm. I've always been alone. I was fine with that. It's how I operate. It's what I'm used to. Since I'm always on missions, it's so easy to run away from it all. But I just... Why am I so stupid? Silver, you're being too hard on yourself. But this is exactly why you should talk to him. If you don't, it'll eat you alive. And I don't think you're stupid, okay? Relationships can be messy. It happens. But if you want to fix it, you have to communicate. You don't get it at all. What? Stop making it sound so easy. Silver's hands shake and curl up into a fist. He immediately stands up and moves in front of me, holding his arms out as if to present himself. Just look at me, Cyrus. I'm hopeless. Just a stupid, broken mess. I don't know anything. I didn't get to go to school and figure my shit out like you. It was just me and my brother. I never had a childhood. They took all of that away from me, and I'll never get it back. But I managed. Despite everything, I clawed my way out of that hell, battered and beaten. Silver covers his face with his left hand. But hey, at least Ash turned out fine. He can go on living a normal life, and he's just okay. Sometimes I'm even jealous of him, and I hate myself for it. But I can't do that. From the moment I was forced to take a life, I can never have that. So I'll keep fighting for us, so that Ash can live happy and free. When he removes his hand from his face, his eyes are so intense and clear. I stand up so I can meet him at eye level. Silver, have you ever thought about just taking a step back from all of this? You've already fought your battles. You don't have to keep fighting. His glare pierces through me. No, you don't get to say that for me. You're no different than I am. Maybe it's under different circumstances, but we're all fighting towards the same goal. I want to push back, but I know he's right. Everyone has tried on so many occasions to stop me from pursuing this job, but I didn't listen. I don't think I have the right to tell him what to do here. I'm sorry. Silver turns away from me. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you. It's okay. I get what you're saying. This is a dangerous job. What we do is dangerous, and I don't think you understand that yet. For your sake, I hope you never have to see the horrors that lie ahead, but I can't guarantee that. And I won't always be there to protect you. I know, and I appreciate you being honest with me, but there's no turning back now. Not after everything that's happened. Maybe I haven't seen what you've seen, but I know that you don't have to fight all on your own anymore. We have each other now, right? And out of everyone who could accompany on the mission, I'm really glad it's you. Silver's eyes widen as he looks away. Fine. Then I hope you're ready. It's the boss's orders. I shrug my shoulders and I chuckle. Silver sighs and puts his hand in his pocket before looking over at me. I have to stay focused. I won't ever forget about all those kids we met at the orphanage. I'll keep fighting for them too. Even the friends we've lost there. He says under his breath. See, that's what I'm talking about. Kanto doesn't need to deal with that or any of my baggage. I'm the farthest thing from normal. Silver, I can still remember the first day we met. Would you believe me if I told you we kind of hated each other? Honestly, that doesn't surprise me at all. I might be close to Aaron and everyone now, but it wasn't always like that. Silver chuckles to himself. A pained smile stretches across his face. And still, Kanto was the first one to try to reach out to me. At some point, I gave in. That's all it took. For the first time in my life, I felt released. I smile. Imagine Kanto being affectionate is still a new concept to me. Well, it's not hard to see why you have feelings for him. We got pretty close over time. And then one day, he confessed to me. Why do you have to go do that for? He's an idiot. Or maybe I'm the idiot who let him. Silver holds his head in his hand. I've always felt like if I lose Kanto, I'll lose a part of myself, you know? Oh, I've definitely been there. Silver sits back next to me, bringing his knees up to his chest. I can't even begin to tell you what Kanto means to me. I didn't know what it felt like to be held, and to feel loved. I was living in the moment. I didn't want to lose that feeling. That scared me. That scares me. I'm afraid I'm always going to be this broken thing, clinging to what makes me feel normal. I slowly extend my arm towards him and start rubbing his back. But you're wrong. You're not broken. You're more normal than you realize. You should try to look at the silver lining more often. No pun intended. I managed to make him laugh with that one. You grew into that person you are today because of your struggles and experiences. That sounds pretty normal to me. You don't want anyone else to suffer. It's why you're so protective about the people you care about. Think about it. Think about Ash. Would he really be where he is now without you? And look at me. You've had my back since day one. Weren't you the one that said you were a big factor in helping me escape? I'd still be rotting away in that containment chamber somewhere if not for you. Silver turns to me. You're okay, Silver. Even now. You're letting yourself open up. What's important is that you finally acknowledged your feelings, right? If you don't think you're ready to be in a relationship, then you need to be honest about it. Silver's quiet for a moment. I'll talk to him then. I nod. He sighs and leans in on me, resting the sides of his head on my shoulder. I'm so tired. Silver might be the most capable of the team, but it's easy to forget that he's still the youngest. He spent most of his life protecting others, and it feels like he's never going to let anyone return the favor. I can do that much for him. We sit here for a little while. At one point, I think he's about to fall asleep, but then he speaks up quietly. Do you really think he'll be okay with this? I think you're underestimating him, honestly. Then, I think I'm ready. Silver pushes away and stands up, brushing himself up. I get up and stand with him. Let's call him up here then. You really should get everything off your chest before we leave, right? I think about my confession to Aaron. God knows I'll feel better after this week. Silver tilts his head confused. What's that mean? Oh, I'll save it for the road trip. He nods and his tail swishes a bit. You want me to message him for you? No, I should be the one. Silver sends Kanto a message and he replies back quicker than expected. He says he needs 20 minutes and he'll be on his way. In the meantime, I take out more snacks for us while we wait. This is the longest 20 minutes of my life. I'm sure it's even longer for Silver. He's cleaning one of his knives. I guess even assassins can get nervous from time to time. Eventually, I see his ear flick back as he sits up. I start to hear footsteps come from where the elevator is. Kanto has his hands in his pockets as he looks around. Silver looks like he's already losing his nerves, so I take it upon myself to call Kanto over. Hey! Over here! Kanto's ears twitch as he turns to face us. He pauses before making his way over. I whisper to Silver, "You want me to stay?" You don't have to, but can you wait for me after? I nod. Hey, Silver. Cyrus. Hey. We both stand awkwardly. Neither know what to say or how to start. I can hear Silver gulp as he tries to speak up. Thanks for coming up to meet me. No big deal. I was feeling stuffy down there anyway. Yeah, same. There's another pause. I'll, give you two some space. I can go stand watch or something. Kanto smirks. Thanks, Xingbing. I make my way towards the elevator. They're not that far away. Even from this distance, I can mostly hear the conversation. So... Kanto crosses his arms. Silver coughs. I want to talk to you about, you know. Us? What about us? Like, you know, how standoffish I've been this past year. Silver is trembling, but he managed to keep eye contact with Kanto. Let's sit down. Okay. I take a moment to get comfortable, sitting side by side where Silver and I were just before. I know I haven't been the most honest with you. I need to change that. I know. But fuck. Give me a second. Silver breaks eye contact with Kanto, struggling to say anything, and eventually takes a deep breath. Let me just say this first, okay? I love you. I always have, but you were right. We can't do this anymore. Silver kicks back some dirt in frustration. This sucks. I'm sorry. Just talk, Silver. Say whatever you want to say. Right. Okay. Do you remember when you asked me to move in with you? It was a while ago. I know that would mean a lot to you. I mean, naturally it would. That's a big step for us. When you asked me that, I froze. I wasn't ready, and I don't know when I'll ever be ready. You deserve someone who's all in. And I don't think that's me. Kanto's shoulders drop at the statement. The truth is, it's so much pressure right now, being someone's something. I have too much on my mind. Between you, Ash, and the Resistance, I can't do it all. And I'm sorry it took me this long to tell you that. I was scared. That's news to me. Why were you scared? Because you love the hell out of me. And that's scary. You were my first Kanto. I don't know what I was doing or what I was feeling. But I do know that you were the first person to ever make me feel normal. That was everything to me. So none of this is on you. It's not your fault I'm all fucked up. Silver starts to choke up and finally tears escape him. I'm a freaking mess, Kanto. Please, don't hate me. I don't want you to hate me. I can't handle that, even though I know I deserve it. Silver. Kanto seems taken aback by that. Kanto starts wiping the tears away with his arm. Not entirely sure how to respond. Kanto places his hand on Silver's shoulder. Hey, come on. I don't hate you. If you don't think this is working, I can't do shit about that. This has been a long time coming anyway. I'm just glad you were finally able to tell me yourself. Silver's eyes flatten, and he looks away. I just wish you had told me sooner. I know. I'm sorry. You really need to work on this communication stuff. It doesn't have to be this hard. I'm sure my temper didn't help. I'm sorry for yelling at you earlier, and for how I've been acting. It was frustrating. After all the silence and cold shoulders, I couldn't take it anymore. And then you went and kept this mission from me too. I'm sorry. It's fine. I get it now. Kanto lets out a deep sigh. But it's been a long time for me, and you're leaving again. But it's been too long for me, and you're leaving again. Maybe I don't have to go. I can just find someone to replace me, and I'll stay here, and you and me can... No, don't do that. You just finally started being honest with yourself. Don't start backpedaling now. We have different priorities, and that's okay. I don't want you to feel bad about that. I'm gonna be fine, and I want you to be fine too. Yeah, I'll try. I really did love you, Silver. But you shouldn't know that. I don't want to wait around anymore. After all this time, I don't deserve that. I know. Just do what makes you happy, okay? We don't have to be a thing. We can still be friends if you want. Silver sniffles and nods. I'd like that. There's an awkward silence between the two. They stop looking at each other at this point, until Kanto tilts up to speak over at Silver. He nudges his arm with his elbow. Hey, you want to know something stupid? If it wasn't obvious, I was a little jealous of your roommate. It was obvious. Cyrus kind of just became my punching bag for a while. What? Don't be mad at me. I already apologized. We talked it out. Hell, he's the reason you're talking to me now, isn't he? Little meddler. Silver shoots a glare at Kanto and he flinches. After a moment, the fox gives him a light jab on his arm, and he manages to laugh. You deserve that. I know. With the tension broken, they both look back up at the stars together. Maybe this is for the best. You and I should focus on ourselves and stop worrying about this. But I'm gonna miss you, you know. You're still my favorite guy, Silver. Yeah, I'll miss you too. Just for a moment, Kanto feels his eyes get misty and turns away. He clears his throat and stands up, looking back down at Silver again. Silver looks up at him, curious. I'm gonna head back to my place for a night. I think I need a day to myself. Silver gives him a slightly dejected look, but nods. Yeah, okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. You should get some rest. Right. Yeah, I will. Kanto takes a deep breath and waves bye to Silver before walking towards my direction. Once he reaches me, he clears his throat and speaks. I'm gonna go. Sorry. Okay. I'll be around if you need to talk too. Sure. Thanks. He continues walking towards the elevator back to the base. Once he's out of sight, I make my way over to Silver, who's watching the stars alone. You okay? Yeah, maybe. We can go back to the room if you want to. I think I'm gonna stay up for a bit. Feels nice out here. Want me to stick around? Nah, it's okay. You sure? For the first time this evening, he smiles reassuringly. Sorry, I think I just want to be alone for a bit. I smile back and pat his shoulder. I think I'm gonna spend the night at Ash's place. It's been a while since we've hung out. It sounds like a good idea. Yeah, if I don't see you in the morning, I'll see you tomorrow night. You too, bud. See ya. Take that as my cue to leave and make my way back towards the base. I have to pay Vito one more visit before tomorrow. Before I step into the elevator, I look back at Silver. He's watching the stars again, but alone this time. Underneath the moonlight, his fur is glowing, and he looks at ease, much more than I've ever seen before. A few hours pass by quickly. I sigh and fall into my bed, arms sprawled out. Day was a bit more than I bargained for. Vito was more accommodating than I thought they would be. They already prepared a good amount of medicine for me to take on the trip. Our promise still stands. Come back alive, or else. I intend to. I gotta start thinking of the bigger picture after all. Resistance needs me as proof of what Resume was really like. I can't be wasteful with the remaining time I have left. That being said, I have nothing else to do for tonight. I've just been pacing around my room for the past 30 minutes. Nearly midnight, but I'm too excited to sleep yet. I've gone over everything in my axiom multiple times. I say I'm good on supplies. I pull up my axiom to send a message to Aaron. Hey, Aaron. If it's alright with you, can I come over tonight? Or can you come hang out here? Whichever you prefer. And send. It's kinda late, so I prepare myself for the chance that Aaron might not respond. The axiom beeps not even a minute later. I'm pleasantly surprised, if a little shocked. I open it and furrow my brow. It's a message from Kanto. Hey, can you meet me in 15 minutes? Go to the coordinates attached. Thanks. Huh? I wonder what Kanto could want at this time of night. I don't recognize the coordinates he sent me either. Where is that? Where is this? What's up? Kanto replies immediately. Don't worry about it. And don't be a wimp. You have 13 minutes. What the hell? Confused, I leave my room and head out to one of the ports. When the port opens, I'm somewhat cautious. It looks like I'm still in the building, but it's dark. The moon is the only source of light I have right now. My boots echo through the halls as I look around. I peer out a nearby window, but I can't piece together where I could possibly be. This building, whatever it is, seems to be in the middle of an overgrown forest. Cyrus, that you? I hear a familiar voice echo through the hallway. Yeah, where are you? Can't see a thing. The lights down here don't work. Come upstairs. I follow his voice and eventually find a staircase with some light pouring down it. I hold the dusty handrail as I walk up. I see Kanto further down the hall. He nods at me to follow him. Now that I can see better, I take in the environment properly. There are wires and cords along the wall, converging into the room Kanto walked to. Turning the corner, I see him sitting on a couch. Glad you can make it. Sure. Thanks for having me. I see all types of equipment I don't recognize throughout the room. I'm surprised how neat and organized everything is, even if I don't know what any of it is. There are basic amenities, including a bed, a fridge, and even a kitchenette. Welcome to my home. Make yourself comfortable. I nod. Curious, I take out my Axiom screen to see what part of the US we're in. 1. Unopened message. I'll check it in 1 second. When I try to access the gate, I get an error message. No network availability. Huh? Where the hell are we? Axiom not working? Kanto smirks at me. I have to use the satellites myself. There's no reception all the way out here. Kanto pulls his own Axiom and with the map. He shows me the landmass that looks a lot like South America. I can't hide my surprise. You live in the fucking Amazon rainforest? I guess. It's just a big forest to me. How did you end up living here, of all places? One day I was fiddling with parts and I stumbled upon this building. It has a lot of solar power tech, though it was in disrepair when I found it. Still, it's a useful hideout. Only a handful of people know about it. Only a handful? That must mean I'm special in your eyes, huh? I chuckle and Kanto rubs his eyes. Ugh, shut up. Don't let it go to your head. I can't promise that. You're not even my first visitor today. I just had a friend over before you came. Oh, who's the friend? Kanto's eyes go wide. Crap. Sorry, can't say. But you're part of the resistance now, so I'll let you in on a secret. I'm working closely with someone in covert ops who's investigating Resume. We sometimes meet here to discuss private matters. Honestly, we've been working on something for a while now, but I can't go into details. Not yet. Oh, in that case, I'll pretend I didn't hear anything then. That being said, I vaguely raise my eyebrow. Feels good to know you're comfortable around me to let stuff like that slip. And there was that one time that you blurted out Silver's name. Alright, you're not as funny as you think you are. He tries to hide his smile by clearing his throat. But anyway, enough about that. I didn't go through the trouble of asking you here just to give you a tour. He steps up from the couch but doesn't elaborate. I see his tail swishing back and forth. Just gonna leave me in suspense, or... Give me a second. I'm grabbing it. He heads over to one of his many Kanto heads over to one of his many workstations. He tosses something in my direction. I catch it easily in the air. There's your gamepad thing, or whatever. It should be fixed up. Oh, wow. I went ahead and replaced some of the parts with its new efficient power source. It should last much longer now. Did you try to take it out, like the game that came with it? Did you play it? Nope, haven't tried it. I'm sure it works, but I wanted to give you the honors. Wow, I like your confidence. Thank you, Kanto. This will hopefully make the trip much more bearable. Yeah, well. Kanto huffs and looks out the window, his tail flicking back and forth. So you called me out here all the way to your super secret base, just for this. I know the dragon well enough. He has something he wants to say. Just gotta lovingly egg him on is all. He grumbles. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna have another chance after tonight. He points to the couch. You, sit. Confused, I do as I'm told. Big Dragon whops and plops himself next to me on the couch. He's trying to act comfortable, but he's still fidgeting. So... I'm getting to it. Is he gonna... Kanto sighs, like whatever he is about to say is causing him pain. I just wanted to say... Thank you. Seriously. For tonight. I mean... Oh, are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm good. Mostly. He sighs and leans back on the couch. Okay, it sucks. I know I already accepted it was over, but I still feel down, I guess. I'm not upset. Maybe relieved, but I'll be fine. I just need to sleep on it. That's good. I figured you'd take it better than Silver would. I finally got him to open up before you got there. I think it helped a lot. Kanto smiles. No way in hell did I think you'd be the one to crack Silver. But I'm glad you did. It feels like the least I could do, considering everything you two have done for me. Kanto leans in close to me, resting his elbow against the couch. He looks me over and then laughs. Funny, when I first met you, I thought you were going to drag us down. You might have been the scrawniest guy I'd ever seen. That oversized jacket didn't help either. I smile and chuckle. But you've grown a lot, huh? Yeah, I'd like to think so. Cyrus, I have a favor to ask of you. Sure, anything. Could you watch out for Silver? I can do that. Technically speaking, Silver's the one who should be watching out for me. That's not what I mean. And what do you mean? Kanto groans. He's always working himself to death with all these missions. I don't get it. Ash is safe. Isn't that enough? I wish he'd take a break or something. At least for his brother. Don't get me wrong. I do care about our cause, but we should be taking care of ourselves too. Yeah, feels like he's going through a lot more than he likes to admit. Don't worry. I'll watch over him. Thanks. Kanto looks away and I can tell he's anxious. I take this moment to try to lighten the mood. Speaking of missions, Titania said I couldn't come back to the base until it's over. Maybe we'll see each other out in the field. The world's a big place. Who knows? Kanto points to my head. Just remember, now we know even axioms aren't perfect. True. Oh, that reminds me. I got a message I haven't read yet. I go to my notifications. It's a reply from Aaron. I smile. Hey, sorry. I gotta go. What the heck do you have going on this late at night? Maybe you're the one who needs a break. That's exactly what I plan to do. Aaron said I could spend the night at his place, since it'll be a while until I can again. Oh, I see. Kanto raises his brows at me, and I can't help but blush. Don't get any weird ideas. Too late. But hey, before you go, why don't you give your game a test drive? Oh, sure. Hang on. Oh, okay, I really like this one. Also, I know they tried to mask that it's totally a Nintendo DS by making it look more like an SP, but that's totally a DS. I held a familiar device in my hands. Kanto scoots up closer as we both peer down at the screen. I take a good, long look at the device, not realizing I've been staring at it for more than a few moments. Kanto taps my shoulder. You good? Yeah, sorry. So you really fixed it, huh? Didn't think I'd actually get to play it again. Just having a piece of my past with me was enough, honestly. Why the heck am I so nervous? Beats me. You're a sentimental guy, so I get it. Come on, just turn it on already. Okay, here we go. Also, Kanto, put those grippers away. I flip on the switch. I hear a familiar chime that something I haven't heard in centuries. It's followed by a long pause. It's always taken a few seconds before the game title appeared right now, but it feels like an eternity. When it does, another familiar tune starts playing that instantly fills me with nostalgia. Something I thought I'd never hear again. It's hard for me to hide my excitement at this point. Kanto chuckles and gives me a thumbs up. Proud of himself, no doubt. Okay, I will take this screenshot and send it to you just for you because I know you would really like this one. I feel a flutter in my chest. Memories of my childhood come rushing back. Warm and fuzzy memories. Memories of my dad sitting with me on the couch and watching me play the newest game. Memories of my dad trying not to get a laugh or embarrassed. Oh, memories of Dad trying not to laugh at my embarrassing amount of game overs. And despite that, he was always there, ready to help when I had given up. Nothing beat the feeling of finally clearing a hard level by myself. And it was always thanks to him. I wish I could tell him how sorry I am for never getting the chance to say goodbye. But even when the world was ending, you were thinking of me. Thank you, Dad. I'll keep doing my best. Just watch me. My heart cannot take much more. If I'm being honest, between the breakup and like stuff like that, the day's finally here. Oh, we don't even get Aaron? Come on! I wanted to see what would happen if we go to Aaron's. Evening comes in fast. It's already 7 at night. As much as I wanted to spend my last day at home relaxing, I had more on my plate than I realized. I guess that's fine. I'm not one to sit around and do nothing anymore. Looking around in my room, I check to see that I have everything I need. Won't be back here anytime soon. I want to make sure my bed is nice and tidy when I return. Silver packed up all his belongings already. I haven't seen him all day. He probably wanted to tie up loose ends around this time around. Guess he'll get to see my new haircut along with everyone else. Are we gonna get to see it? I head to the bathroom to make sure everything looks okay. I'm thankful Karen was nice enough to squeeze me in for a last-minute hair appointment. I got so used to the white that I almost don't recognize myself as I look in the mirror. I kinda like black though. I just hope it does its job and fools any would-be resume captors. I make sure my Arcadia collar is fastened and synced up to my Axiom. Finally, I take a breath. Alright, it's time to go. I head out of the bathroom, out of my room, and close the door behind me. My heart. The sun is starting to set. I see them. Oh, let me snooze that. I see the members of my crew are almost immediately as I make my way towards them. Eventually, everyone looks over in my direction when they hear my footsteps. Well, speak of the devil. Whoa, didn't recognize you at first. That's a look. What do you think? Different enough? I'll say. I doubt anyone would know it's you at a glance. Not too shabby, Cyrus. Might take some getting used to. I think I did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself, Karen says with pride. Definitely. I'll miss coming to my favorite hairdresser. Aw, Cyrus. She picks me up for a sudden bear hug. I'll be here when you get back, but you'll have to rely on little Foxman over there until then. Silver rolls his eyes. I'm sure I'll manage. I tap out almost immediately on account of the air in my lungs being squeezed out. Oops. Sorry, Cy. Please don't kill him. He hasn't even started the first mission yet. Hey, give me some credit. It'll take more than that to do me in. See? I knew I was being careful. I cough. That's not what I meant. We all share a laugh, and I look over the scenery again. Dusk definitely looks different compared to dawn out here. You know, with how often we hang out here, we should come up and set up some park benches or something. I wouldn't mind, but it gets too cold in the basement for my liking. You know what the point of a secret... Oh, you know that the point of a secret base is for it to be a secret, right? We'll just say we're having secret picnics if anyone asks. And let me know when they do. I'll port over and find out how that's going down. Aaron speaks up. Just so you know, I'm not gonna bust you out of jail again, Yin Queen. As if I needed you to, and that was a one-time thing. For now. What'd you get arrested for? I blew something up. She blew up a resume research lab that was under construction. And my arm. Don't forget my arm. Like we could forget. Kanto snickers before Karen starts getting fired up. Before they can start to bicker, Aaron claps his hands to get her attention. Alright. Normally, I'd leave it to you guys to do it, but the sun is going down. Silver, Cyrus, come here. We do as he says. Aaron places a paw on each of our shoulders. You're gonna do great out there. Remember, your job isn't to engage in unnecessary combat. Your job is to secure a source of lodestars and run reconnaissance. That being said, I know you two are capable of holding your own out there, so if you have an opportunity, you better kick some ass. Right. Wouldn't have said it any other way. Good. Now, I know it's not your first time, Silver, but since it's Cyrus's... Hell yeah! Present time! Huh? Silver suddenly pushes something onto my chest. Here's mine. Hope you like it. He smirks. Confused, I look up at Aaron. It's a tradition for your first time out. We each give you something. Oh, wait! I want to go first! Cyrus is gonna flip! Karen, don't you think you should save yours for the end? What? What for? Well, how do I put this? Wouldn't it be a good idea to save the best for last? Karen gives me a smug grin and nods. Oh, good point, good point. Alright then, continue. This makes me nervous for some reason. Aaron chuckles. Well, go ahead and open it. Sure. Thank you very much. I say that out of habit before feeling the box in my hand. It's kind of small, but heavy. Opening the lid, I see something shiny. It's a custom knife. From our practice sessions. I'd say you could use one while we're out and about. The blade isn't like any knife I've seen before. Kind of reminds me of a small katana than a knife. There's a ring at the bottom of the hilt as well. It's amazing. Thank you, Silver. I'll treat it well. I'll show you how to do weapon maintenance while we're out on the road. Always gotta make sure your blades and guns are taken care of. I look forward to it. Aaron clears his throat. Nope. I got you something too. It was last minute, but I hope you like it. Aaron sheepishly produces something from his back pocket. It's wrapped in a cloth. I'm not the best at wrapping, but feel free to take the handkerchief with you. I graciously accept it, storing it carefully in my axiom. Oh, guys, you really didn't have to go through all this. Nonsense, you deserve it. Be careful though, they're fragile. Plural, huh? I carefully unravel the handkerchief. Inside's a weighty, ornate box. It fits in the palm of my hand, if only just barely. Press the button in the middle. I nod and do so. Oh. The lid opens, revealing a shiny metal necklace before music starts playing. It's a music box. I wanted to get you a necklace anyway, and I thought you might want something to help you sleep. Camping can be tough. I meticulously put the necklace out to get a better look at it. I'd recognize that color anywhere. It's a lodestar. It almost looks like a blue pearl. Since apparently you used up the only one you had, I thought I'd get you another. I hope it'd help you in a pinch. I can already feel tears welling up, but I hold them back. Thank you, Aaron. Do you mind trying it on for me? I'd be happy to. Oh, do you mind tying it on for me? I'd be happy to. Aaron takes the necklace from my hand, then reaches around my neck to fasten it. I hold the blue stone in my hand. It's clearly polished, with how shiny it was compared to your average piece of lodestar. It's by far the prettiest one I've ever seen. I can only imagine how much it cost him. My debts to him just keep growing. There, how's that? Perfect. I give the cat an even bigger hug. Our last one for a while. I'll miss you so much, all of you. I promise I'll write back as often as I can. It'll be gloomy without you, like I said before. Aaron pulls back, looking at me in the eye. I know you're gonna do great out there. In fear of crying yet again, I stay silent and nod. After closing the music box, I pull my inventory screen out, placing both it and the knife inside. Aaron chuckles. Kanto comes up to me. Alright, Cyrus. I already gave you your gift last night, so don't get greedy. Take this with you. I unlocked it, just like you asked. Kanto pulls out the pistol from his Axiom's inventory sphere. Considering this is a consolation prize for showing up on time, be careful out there, alright? Thank you, Kanto. You've been a big help. Kanto pauses and smirks. Just kidding. Huh? Kanto ruffles my hair with his paw. I've got one more thing for ya. Kanto doesn't give me the opportunity to say anything as he pulls something else out of his Axiom inventory. He passes me a rather large box. I set it down on the ground, not sure what it could be. I slowly open the top and reach inside. It's a motorcycle helmet. Oh, wow. Did you make this for me, Kanto? Sure did. You didn't have to do that. Silver already told me he had a spare. But I have to admit, having my own custom helmet, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Aaron chuckles and points in the direction behind me. Turn around. I don't think she can wait any longer. Oh, she got me a bike. Upon doing so, I see Karen looking antsy. She's tapping her foot while checking on the non-existent nails on her prosthetic arm. Hold on, sorry, this is a really cute one too. She watches at us. She catches us staring. She gasps. Is it my turn? It looks like it's your time to shine. Go for it. Be right back. She bolts behind the rocks. Moments later, she wheels up something on the road. Ta-da! Your very own motorcycle, she says proudly. Wait, what? I can't accept this. This is too much. Of course you can. You're the one who helped me fix it up after all. What? Is this the junker we've been tinkering with in our spare time? Getting a closer look, I can definitely see similarities. Sure is, though I just finished the rest of it on my own, so it could be ready for you. Karen tosses the keys to me. I barely catch them. Believe me, you're gonna need this if you're gonna be gone that long. I want you to have it, Cyrus. I want you to have a means to explore the world the best you can. Dude, you're seriously gonna make me cry, you know that? Ain't no shame in it. She comes over and smacks me hard on the back. You've got a long road ahead of you, rookie. Make sure you enjoy every last second of it. Right. Now it's Silver's turn to clear his throat. Not to steal the spotlight, but were you able to run maintenance on mine too? Sure did. It's behind the rock too. I couldn't drag them both here by myself. Leave it to me. Thanks again. I owe you one. Get me some cool souvenirs while you're out, and we'll call it even. Deal. Be right back. Silver heads over to the rocks, and Kanto walks up to me shortly after. I spent all night making sure your helmet would be ready. It'll give you night vision when you're out after dark, and even can communicate with your Axiom. Hopefully it'll help out. I'm sure it will. This is probably a bad time to say it, but I don't know how to ride a motorbike. Don't worry. Silver parks his bike next to mine. No one's gonna be on the highway this time of night. We'll get you some good practice. I added some self-driving tools too. Still, you should learn how to drive on your own. No time like the present, right? That's the spirit. I smile, getting myself up before heading to the bike. Ready? I think so. No. I know so. Good. Silver slides the helmet on the top of his head and hops onto his bike. I try to do the same, but I'm having some trouble. Want me to help you up? For old time's sake? I chuckle. Sure, just you wait. Next time I'll be the one taking you on joyrides. Aaron starts to lift me up from under my armpits, gently setting me down on the bike. I look forward to it. He leans down close to me, out of earshot. I'll miss you, Cyrus. I'll miss you too, Cyrus. See you around. I blush, but smile happily. I take the handkerchief Aaron wrapped his gift in and try my best to tie it around my neck. Aaron smiles. Before heading back to stand with Karen and Kanto, I pull my hair as much as I can before sliding Kanto's helmet onto my head. Immediately, I see an interface pop up in the visor. Device sync available. Proceed. Yes, can you turn on autopilot once we take off? Affirmative. Would you like to initiate co-pilot mode with nearby contact, Silver? Oh, yes, please. Connecting. I put the key in the ignition. Feeling the engine rev for the first time gives me goosebumps. I can hear Silver in my helmet. No turning back now, killer. Shall we? Let's. I turn back to the crew, waving. Please grip both hands firmly on handlebars. Be sure both feet are placed on the footrests. Autopilot will initiate shortly. Okay. I situate myself and give Silver a thumbs up, and he returns it with his own. Silver starts to pull out, and I start to follow. It starts to glow. It goes slow a little at first, a little nerve-wracking. But I'm excited to start my new journey. Silver speeds up, and my bike does the same. As we both ride off into the sunset sky, I look back one last time. I don't see them anymore. I feel a pain in my chest. I keep riding forward, eager to prove myself to the people that I care about. Arc 4. End. Can I just say, holy fuck, was this an emotional roller coaster for me. But I'm so glad that Cyrus is going to be okay doing it. I know being away from Aaron and his friends is going to be tough, but I really wish the best for him. Let's go ahead and finish this up before the ad comes up, and we'll watch the credits. I'm excited. Pretty soon my name might be on here too. Remember the flowers. End of part 1. Remember the flowers credits. If you think about it like a book, this would be the first book in the series, right? We got everything back together, and our journey actually officially starts now, if you think about it. Either way, I'm really happy to see that Cyrus is super excited. Honestly, I can't thank the people who wrote this story enough. They're really amazing at storytelling and writing. I can't wait for more. I will say, considering the fact that there's a new chapter coming out soon, I can't wait. Hope you guys are ready for those monthly updates, cause in between my regular streams, when those come out, I'll be doing them as soon as I can, as soon as the public release comes out. Cause I can't wait, trust me. And ah man, this has been a great one. I'm really excited. And again, you might actually see me on this list, coming with the next chapters. So, I am really excited. We'll see how that pans out. Just remember, you'll see my Sona too. Man, what does the future hold in store for them? I can't wait. I'm a little nervous though, especially now that we know Lance will be out to find us. But either way, I don't honestly think he'd have the heart to turn us in again. I really don't. That's just me thinking hopefully. You know? Because he's been through a lot, even though he's a terrible person. Every person that's bad like that has some kind of backstory. And I want the best for him. I hope one day he'll be able to rejoin his friends and that they'll forgive him. I really do. And we're all done. Get ready for future updates, guys. I know we have one coming out, I think this month, so I am stoked. I think it'll be the Interlude 3, so. In the meantime, thanks everyone who watched me. I know I'm a bit of an emotional wreck with this, but, you know, what can I say? It's an emotional story to say the least. A good one, though. I can't complain. And, honestly, I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish with just this story. I've got my Axel voice down, and I've got my Artemis voice down too. Very much so. Alrighty, y'all. Have yourself a wonderful Saturday, and I hope to see every one of you soon when we get back to streaming Resident Evil, because we're going Village next. Even though, poor Ethan. Man just can't catch a break. Anyway, catch you guys later. See you next time. Ciao.